gonna tell you what is happening in Liberia. Spoon gonna tell you what is happening in Morovia. Spoon gonna tell you what is happening in Africa. Just to spoon, you will know. If the children crying for starvation, just to spoon. You want to get a news update, my brother, to spoon. You want to know what is happening, Moravia, to spoon. Politicians want to make their decision, just to spoon. You want to know what happening in the ministry, to spoon. To spoon. To spoon. You from Vonjema, Maryland, to spoon. To spoon. If you eat kepan, gradually, my brother, to spoon. You got a spoon TV, you got a spoon radio, to spoon. To spoon. You want to get a news update, to spoon. What? Yeah. Rastafari. Kilibamba, kilibamba, kilibamba. Kilibamba, kilibamba, kilibamba. What I want? This one you got today. Spoon TV. Spoon. This one you got today. Spoon TV. Spoon.
Indeed, tune to Spoon, Spoon FM, Spoon TV, Spoon Radio, Spoon Entertainment. This is the Spoon Network. Of course, this is where we give you authentic information about the happenings in the country every single day. And I'd like to say welcome. Thanks for joining us again on another fascinating edition of the program Spoon Talk. And of course, my name is Nelson Colette, and thanks to the folks across the country that have joined us, thanks to our partner radio stations. We're live on Spoon 107.5 FM, we're live on Fabric 101.1, and we're live on Super 95.5 FM. Thanks to the partner radio stations across the country that are always relaying this program. Thanks to Trust FM in Bomi County. Thanks to Gibi FM in Kakatama, Gibi County. Many thanks to Trend Radio in Grand Crew County. And of course, the host of other radio stations that are relaying the program. Let me welcome James Gude Flomo, the boy from Giziboiga. James, welcome to the show, man. It's good to see you tonight. You are muted.
All right, brother. I said thank you, and I'm happy to see you because I know at the end of the day, I'm going to walk away with a heavy token that will token that I will use for maybe the weekend. You know, the weekend began yesterday, so I need to get it moving. What's up?
I'm doing good. You know, when a guy who resides in Europe tells you that there's gonna be a token for the weekend, and you are here in Liberia, what do you say? You know, you just agree. So, James, it's a good thing that you on here tonight, and yes, you're right. The token.
What did you forget about? I started to sleep.
The token is going to go on. The token is going to come through, and yes. But James, it's good to be here, man. What's going on from your end?
I'm cool. Nothing bad. We here.
I don't know.
Everything.
James, am I coming through right? Is there any echo from my end?
No, I'm not getting any echo. You are cool.
Okay, good. So just go ahead, little. Let me do something here.
All right, then you can log up and come back.
Yeah. No, yeah, just go ahead. I just hold on.
All right, folks. Good evening to all of you. Good evening to my people there in Giziboiga, Zaza District, Fishable Town. Let me say good evening to all of you and to all of the peace-loving people of Lofa County. I want to say good evening to all of you, the Loma people, Wana Avabesi. Well, to everyone, welcome tonight. It's going to be another beautiful night where the folks will talk more about issues that are happening in Liberia. Remember, this is the platform where we meet to talk about the issues that matter. And we can only find a better agenda for Liberia if we put our hands on decks and put for uh, the issues that we have to talk about by setting the agenda. And Spoon Talk is that place where our panelists will come and set the agenda for discussion, and other folks will follow. You know, when agendas are set, the public now has a discussion. They can now move ahead with whatever they want to discuss based on the agenda setting. Yeah, welcome back. I think you're okay, but I don't know
Yeah, I
why.
think I'm okay now. Yeah, I'm okay now.
But who told you
Yeah.
that you have
Uh,
problem?
no, I figured out that I had a problem because I kept hearing some echo and stuff like that, and then yeah, and I just got to realize that there was another gadget on, uh, through which the radio was playing, and so usually there will be that, that kind of echo. But it's okay now. Everything is all set from my end. That's why we have the headphone as a monitor to know what's happening, while we talk or do what we do here. But it's good. It's all good here.
All right, let me get my own headphone as well.
You're not using many gadgets, James. Forget headphone. You have just one computer before you and maybe just a computer or a phone. Why do you need headphone? Yeah, so we're here tonight, folks. I want to say thanks for joining us. Kindly share the program as we come on. As you know, we live across the internet. We live on YouTube. We live on Facebook. We live on um, Spoon Talk Live on Facebook. You can go to Facebook. Sorry, on YouTube. Spoon Talk Live is our handle on YouTube. Go to YouTube, search Spoon Talk Live, and you're gonna see all of our programs there. And if you're on Facebook, search Fabric TV, Farbric TV Live. Search Super TV Live, or you can also find us on Spoon TV with over 500,000 followers. Follow all of the social media handles, and this edition of the Spoon Talk promises to be very fascinating. Kindly share the program as you come on. Share in all of the groups, and give the program some thumbs up. Especially for those of you on YouTube. And let's have a great show tonight as we await the entire team to give you a very great show tonight. The minute is loaded, lots of information up in the air for you, but just kindly share the program as we go on. Yeah, James, you were trying to come in and
Yes, before your arrival, after you left, I
mm,
was talking about the agenda setting, how we meet on Spoon to set the agenda for public discussion. And you just confirmed that we have a very huge agenda for tonight that will
yeah.
be discussed. And I'm told we also have studio guests that will be coming on later tonight to talk more about their sector that they will confirm to the people. But before we go further, you are on Capitol Hill. I know Capitol Hill is a very, very busy place. I worked there for about 2 years plus before leaving. So yeah, we look up to you to give us updates from Capitol Hill.
No, but interestingly, Capitol Hill is now closed. Uh, the folks are on their break. They're gonna be returning on the 14th. And so we look forward to seeing what comes on. So what is happening basically now is uh,
Mm,
uh,
Yeah, continue, bro.
okay.
The minute I start going in people inboxes, telling them you call them back. Hey, go ahead, Baba. It's getting
No,
serious.
no, James. Yeah, I think I remember that chat.
Nelson, go ahead. I did not
No,
ask you. Go ahead.
no. I have to clear that. I think I remember that chat.
Nelson, go ahead.
Oh yeah,
Forget
so
about
this
it.
this person reached out and yeah, so
Go
my apologies for that. Yeah, my apologies for that. I it actually slipped my mind. So
Get that. If
yes,
the better want to talk to you,
so
talk to me. I will talk.
so
Go ahead.
so basically that's what it is, and they will be back, you know. But what's happening now is that some individual lawmakers sometimes will have a press conference. They want to address some issues, and then they pull the cord, and those that are available can form part of it. But aside from that, James, there are lots of things happening in the country, and I think Saturday is more like a kind of review of the week, and we have been basically having some serious conversation around um, the motorcycle or the motorcyclist situation throughout the course of the week, and we woke up to something which appears to be more like a climax, or something which to some extent settles the dust on that conversation, talking about motorcyclists plying the principal streets of the country. Yeah, so um, they now have an idea how they're going to go about it. Initially, there was some plan to have the motorcyclists removed from the streets effectively uh, the 15th of
15
this month,
minutes.
which is on
Yeah,
Wednesday,
15 minutes.
this coming
Yeah.
Wednesday. And so there were back and forth. There were some of the motorcyclists who were in total disagreement with that. Some embraced the idea, since in fact they will have the opportunity to plat uh, minor corridors, the feeder roads, the communities, but not the principal street like we have the Tottenham Boulevard. And so while another group was planning a protest on Monday, another group was, on the other hand, working closely with the police and embracing everything that the police was about to do. And then just a couple of days, about 6 days to the rollout of the entire exercise, the police IG then broke the news when he said that the motorcyclist they had a conversation. The vice president called them, and they they had a very fruitful conversation with the vice president, and he asked them to um, uh, stand down on that restriction, but with some specific instructions for the motorcyclist. So those guys will be allowed to plow the streets, but um, they should have helmet, two helmets. They should not be seen with more than one person on the bike. The motorbike should be registered and insured, and they should have all of the basic gear, the reflective vest. They should have footwear and everything that's required to apply the principal streets. So that conversation went on, and motorcyclists have been seen, majority of them very excited about that. But where the sticker issue lies is whether or not this is going to be a smooth ride for them, considering that most of the motorcyclists, if you went along the streets now, just to there, watch, you will see 8 out of 10 motorcycles do not have the two V mirrors correct. Least to talk about the helmet, but they are preparing themselves for it, and that's one of the major issues because it was not. It got to a point where it was not just about the motorcycles, but it was about the ordinary Liberians. There are some people. Come to think about it, you are running late for a particular program. You have a car, but you are thinking if you got in the traffic, decided to drive maybe from ELW Junction to Central Monrovia, you might just get caught up in a traffic that will hold you longer. But with a motorbike, it's easier. But then the safety aspect is another thing that even the law enforcers have been looking at. So that conversation went on, and that has been one of the issues of the week. But of course, the vice president made some interventions, and this is where we are with that. And yes, lots of other issues as well. You're talking about there have been some um there was an issue raised by Senator DeLon in the course of the week when he said that officials of government, people in government, people who have been employed or people who are working actively in government, should not be actively involved with the running of political parties, especially. So he spoke on a lot of things, but that aspect, raised some concerns, especially uh, let's say you are a director or you are a minister, and then you are on the other hand serving as secretary general, chairman of the political party. You're serving as in some leadership position in the party. Well, he said that is wrong. And if they are messengers of the change, they preach this change, then they should now start to live the change. And so, with a caveat that people who are already in government should let go their different positions in the political party, let another group of young people or individuals in the political party grow to that level where they can assume those responsibilities and start to serve in those key leadership positions in the party rather than being a minister, for example, and then you are a secretary general or a chairman of
So
a political
uh,
party.
I'm
But
coming. Let
yeah,
since
yeah,
we
I'm
are
coming.
space, I want to ask you a question on that. I want you to
Yeah,
zero in
let,
on
let me let,
something.
let, let, me- let me just land on this.
Okay.
So so when he made that comment, his backing, or he made reference to part 5 of the code of conduct, which talks about political participation. So he raised that very important point. On the flip side, then we saw Representative Gray, who came in and hit very hard on the senator by saying that he comments, the message he's preaching is in total deception and that's hypocrisy. He went on to ask as to when did the senator get to realize that all these things are violations. He thinks that the senator wants to get public sentiment when he starts to raise those kinds of issues. So there was that back and forth with respect to what the lawmaker raised. And yeah, so James, you want to come in? You said you had something to say with regards to that just before we move on to some of the updates. James, are you
Yeah.
here? Can you hear me?
Yeah. I'm hearing you. Uh,
Okay.
you highlighted two key important points
Yeah.
that I want to talk about. That I want to zero in on some of them. One has to do with the motorcyclist
Hmm.
and the Delon issue. First, let's begin with the motorcyclist issue. To be frank with you, the issue that has to do with the motorcyclist or pimping riders in Liberia has now become a political commodity. It has become a political hot cake that we give,
Political
yeah,
commodity.
that we give future government tough time to handle. In Liberia, I drove in Liberia for 2 years, right? Motorbike guys, they don't have a red light. There's no way they're going to stop when it is time for them to stop while cars are stopping. They don't do it. That has caused many accidents in Liberia. Around Famoma, yes, right to Famoma before somewhere around 2022, around February, We were in the traffic there. When we reached, it was time for us who were coming from red light way to stop. And the guys from inside Matali to get on the route and either use the route going to
Yeah,
red light or
yeah,
to go to town.
yeah.
These motorcycle guys were coming. Everyone stopped, but they refused to stop. One of them got hit instantly and he passed up. You could not hold a driver who came from inside Matali responsible for his death because the motorcyclist never had a right of way. The right of way was for the vehicles coming from within Matali or
Mm.
Benin to go through Matali. They never knew because everyone had to stop. And these guys, they were passing with speed. So in order to settle this, not just putting these things together to say register, get your reflective jacket or whatever, I listened to the IG and I think the government of Liberia needs to invest in that. He talks about training. They
Yeah.
need to organize a nationwide training for pimping riders in Liberia. You are not just organizing a training to tell them this is how to ride. Like I said before on this platform, over 60% of people who move objects in Liberia, who drive, do not know any traffic sign. People just get behind the wheel and
Like,
move out.
like you learn how to drive, James.
Yeah, that
What?
the way, okay, like the way I learned how to drive, right?
Yeah.
So
You just went behind
about
a horse,
six,
somebody tell you say press the thing, turn the wheel, and then James became a driver.
yeah. So about 50 to 60% of the drivers in Liberia, they do not know any traffic sign.
Hmm.
Whether to say you reaching to a footpath, you need to stop here. When the light is green or red, what you need to do, we don't know anything in our country. So the traffic department of the Liberia National Police and the Ministry of Transportation, they have a very great job. Even if this government fails to do it, future governments to come, if the government cannot do it, they can outsource. Government can outsource
The
these
responsibility
things
to a
to private
private
institutions.
company. Yeah.
Yeah, to private institutions to organize trainings. Let me tell you something, bro. When you are in Liberia, you will not know that we are lacking in some things. But if you leave Liberia and then look back at where you were and see what's happening to where you are, that's the time you get to understand that yes, we have a lot to do. More people are dying in Liberia not because it's their time to die, but because of our carelessness to take the right decisions and to give people, uh, you know, driver lessons who are competent. We are not doing it. You go to transport now. You want driver lesson. All they want from you. I think it was 45 or 35. I think it should
So the
be.
driver's license now is 45. I got the one for 45, but they have categories. They have another one. I think it's private,
Uh-huh.
and they have one for $30, and they have one for 45.
Okay.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
in Liberia, right? I went there for a driver lesson. I did not complete the process before leaving Liberia.
So you didn't
When
get a
I got
license?
there, they
Oh, we lost you, James. Okay, so why James is trying to
so
come
hello,
up?
you
Are
getting
you
me?
okay? Yeah, you're good now.
You getting me?
You're good. I
I'm
can
not
hear
getting
you.
you.
I can hear you, James. If you can hear
Oh,
me, then you have to
sorry,
log
I'm
out.
hearing you now.
Okay.
So if you go for driver lesson in countries outside of Liberia, you're not just going to do a test. Something you see me when you see my face, you would think that I'm 100% clear with my eyes. But when I went for my driver lesson test here, the first thing they did an eye test. Like you stand a few feet away from the board, they tell you to recognize number. I could not recognize anything.
Hmm.
I could not recognize anything. So the first recommendation was I should start using glasses. Even before I get on bicycle to move it, I have to get glasses on. But in Liberia, do we have these things there? No. In order to get our traffic sector better, we need to invest in
Uh, you
training.
know, yeah. There's something similar. but I think maybe we need to improve on it. So what I did recently was the renewal of my driver's license. But when I went to acquire the license from the very first time, I had to do similar thing. You had to do the eye test. They had to test the eye and all the kind of stuff. But again, maybe we need to improve on how we do these things. We have we do it maybe just on the surface. Maybe that's
Yeah,
what I
so
should do.
I think
Yeah.
my recommendation to the Liberian government, the last time I did a proposal, right? Even the public transport that we have, we complain a lot about transportation and so forth. Government has plenty of ways to make money. Also, some of these trainings to public, that is private institutions, they will organize them for you. Maybe do 1 year or 2 years training nationwide, just teaching people, reduce it to local languages, educate people how to do it, how to cross the road, what to do. If you do these things now, if you check the accident rate in Africa, we are tapping. We are among the top five where you have more motor accident in Liberia. These things are happening in our country because we don't have proper training. People just get they just get in the street and start moving vehicles. They are not drivers, but they move vehicles, and at the end of the day, they don't know when to turn, how to turn, and what to do at a particular time. And some of these people, they just kill people. Many people lost their life. Like I have an uncle in Liberia who lost one of his legs just because of the same motorcyclist issue, right? Somebody just ran through them, and at the end of the day, Flomo ended up losing one of his legs. So we need to do it if our country is to get better. We have a very young population. Liberia is one of the countries in Africa that has a very young population. If we are not careful, in the next 15 to 20 years, majority of the younger population, or most of them, will be either crippled or somehow disabled because
and,
of
and I think
the traffic system. So that is what I had to
and I
say.
and I think you're
Uh-huh.
right on that, James. You mentioned report and stuff like that. I remember when I was actively running this road safety show, the drive time. There was one training we went for, and uh, somewhere in 2018, there was a report that WHO conducted, and that report revealed that um, in the world there were different segments, different components of the report. In the world, West Africa is a hot zone for accidents,
Yeah.
and in West Africa, Liberia was highlighted red, one of the places where a lot of accidents occurred. And then that report went on further to say that in a year, as of the time they conducted that report that year, uh, 1,657 persons died due to road accident alone. 1,657 persons. You're not mentioning the number of people who got injured, not to talk about the other aspects, the number of vehicles damaged and a whole lot. So it remains a serious issue, and I think governments will have to give attention to it. Like you said, the issue with road safety in our country has become more political, you know. And whenever you talk about motorcyclists, especially wanting to enforce some safety regulations, it turns out to be interpreted as, oh, you want to take breath from the people's mouth? Okay, so let's see. Next election, you see who will vote for you. So it has become more political, and because of that, lots of lives are at risk. So many lives
Nelson,
are at risk. And
Nelson, that is why I said our country is way back. We are still maybe in 1960, while our friends are in 2024. We stay in 1960, right? It is only in Liberia where you will see people arguing with police officers if they are wrong or police pull them over and so forth. Here, if a police stop you, bro, you have to position your hand in a way that this officer will see you clearly. that he will see you clearly, that you will not become a threat to him. Not like Liberia, where police officer will stop you there. You doing like this, checking everywhere. You do that in some part of the West. They kill you for nothing. The police officers will defend, and he will be right. No one will justify what you went for because it is a threat to them. We need to take politics out of it, and we can only do that if we start getting the professionals to those places, and governments let government continue to maintain some of these people. I'm not talking about the RG or the deputy RG, but some of the professionals that are hailing the traffic department and other places, keep them there for a certain amount of years. Let them build a system. When these systems are built, at the end of the day, we will get a safety zone. Many school-going children died because of
Yeah.
people drinking and driving. People who don't know their left from their right when it comes to driving. They don't know how to turn, where to make a U-turn, and where not to do a U-turn. They kill people foolishly in Liberia. So in order to save these things, to save our next generation, bro, we have to do something. Not tomorrow, but right now we have to do it. Like what RG said, I think he needs to push that. If not in this budget, the next budget year, there should be good money allocated for nationwide training, the same as the transport ministry. They should do it where they will educate people, and they should not do it like big shots. You are chief, you this. Oh, boss, welcome.
How you doing? Good day. That's Paul.
Yo, God money me.
God money you. I heard you guys are strengthening your border with better rules.
You're about to throw fear in the spires of James again.
Russians allies. So James, make sure your police is strong.
He's a little bit low.
That's how it goes, man. But welcome to the show.
Yeah,
Talking
thank you.
Liberia. I tell you guys talking about the motorcyclists. Let me say something though. I love the motorcyclists, but when it comes to leadership in this country, you have to lead. The consequence of your leadership cannot be worried about as a leader as long as you're doing the right thing. At the end of the day, Lord, listen, we have enough space in this country where we build a road, yeah, that's not a chicken play. You get too full, you like a path. Why you can't elevate a platform that other countries are doing to isolate the motorcycle from the road, where you build a separate road, solid main road. Say, listen, this lane is for motorcycle. There's so many different options that we can explore. But most of the time here in Liberia, we were thinking about solution. Look, if you are a leader and you allow the next election's decisions to sway how you rule, you will fail. Your entire intention should be to find solutions to the problem facing the country. If somebody does not love that solution, the only thing I will ask about that solution, let that solution be just, let it be constitutional, and let it be practical to the Liberian experience. That's all you should worry about. Eventually, the people are going to come around. Look, the other thing, I say this all the time, development has pains. And the problem here in Liberia, we want to develop, but the pain that comes with development, we don't want it. It can't happen. It can happen. Look, you can go from Norway to Poland, where my brother Goody from is. It's a third world country. And I mean, Poland's been suffering for years, but look at Poland today. You talk about the Swedes that have one of the highest standard of living in the world. But in 1902, Sweden was like a third world country. Norway, these countries until they discover oil. And what they realized, they have to build institutions. Everybody has to follow that guideline. There is no big man in their society, so to speak. I get it. There are classes of people, but at the end of the day, before the courts, before the systems, everybody has some form of justice. I just got followed by two, I believe, government officials. They have sirens on the vehicle. They just blew in bright light. They just going all day for no reason whatsoever. But guess what's happening? Now nobody even respect the police. So when you're doing yanga, everybody get up in nowhere because it has absolutely no validity anymore. It is not important. So when it's a true emergency, an ambulance, a true emergency, nobody's going to recognize it because it's a waste of time.
And you get blamed.
You want to enforce the laws. If you don't want to enforce the law, don't become a leader. People will yell. If you don't let you, yeah, be so. This is what I continue to stress on this network every single day. If a man or a woman has not attained certain status in society, and I'm not talking about through government, Where a man is willing to quit his job in government because the government is not doing the right thing, and that man can still maintain his standard of living, that is a man that should come to government. If that man say, "You're wrong, government job is great, but I will still eat 3 times a day. I will drive a decent vehicle in the private sector," this is a man we should go after. This is our best and brightest. But we take idiots, total fools, and we put them into government, and we expect prudence and diligence and duty and honor. It doesn't work that way. It's never going to work that way until Liberians realize that for government to work, nobody must be spared when it comes to how this is a minister. But I put the greatest burden not on the president of this country. I put it on the people. We sit down with 4 hour here and we say, "Go, government heaven," and God in Liberia. Let me tell you, God on here. God left Liberia 1991. They say, "Oh, Opa, the thing can tell you that God on here." Let me tell you, the Bible says this. The Bible says God stays far away from evil. We have become an evil people. God stay far away from us. This is why the entire country is collapsing. When people say, "Oh, Opa, how can you go to spoon every single day?" Let me tell you something. I will continue to say this. If we keep quiet in this country, we might become the next Nicaragua. We might become the next Haiti, the next El Salvador. Our
Yes.
country will implode because we sit down, we say, "Oh, we'll go to the chair, we'll go to the mosque, we'll pray." God not listening to you because there is evil blocking your prayers from reaching to God. We've become an evil people. I'm a Christian, but it shames me every day to know that my country is supposed to be a Christian country and we live like pagans. One man will take whole district money, he whack it, he won't eat it. Then we say, "Well, I need a man big, oh yeah." They offer you, but you're Nigerian. We give it back to you, man, Nelson.
Yes. So Nelson, I'm
Yeah,
coming 1 minute. Yeah.
Yeah,
Sorry.
we're about to go to the lines, but go ahead,
Okay.
James.
Okay.
You want to say something quickly just before we go to the lines? So we
Yeah, I'm
hear
coming.
from the
Let me
folks out there.
let me zero in on this. Uh,
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry to the 5.2 million Liberians currently in Liberia who are listening to me, but Liberia is almost like a failed state.
Not almost, it is a failed state.
A failed state is a state where people have no respect for the law. They have no respect for whatever system. That is a failed state where people do whatever they want to do. In Liberia, today, a government says no one should pass, no one should use the boulevard at 2 o'clock. People going to tell you that Joseph Boakai parent farm that we're not coming past there. People will violate to go. That is a classical example of a failed state where no one respects law. People do whatever they want to do, like Haiti. That what we just heard Dualu saying, like Haiti, where gang leaders will do their own, political leaders will come up when government comes out with policies. The political leaders will say we do not agree, and gang leaders will take a certain part of the country to control. That is gradually taking place in our country. If we are not careful, Nelson, some of you that are in Liberia, in the coming years, leaders of gangsters or political parties will start controlling certain region. To tell you this is how
and what is
we are almost like a failed state.
Good day when you be using almost me, I'll let put in no sugar or anything. Gary will eat it raw. Let me tell you, it's not almost like a failed state. Every single district in this country is controlled or is an enclave by somebody who has small money. And the chick come you, the chick your small to we subjugate our people in a way where the thing in heaven heart so bad sometimes, like my mother would say, this is what hurts me. When we are such a powerful country, we can rival most other countries in the world. But yeah, we sit down, we feel sorry for ourselves. In the kind of country, I will tell you thing, y'all get tired of me, but y'all can hear it. In the kind of country, where Mark Quebec, do you know most Liberians in the country go to the market with $500 LD a day to cook a whole horse food? And I even go $2 to cook a whole food. Then in that same country, you take one man getting 15,000, you getting car, 70,000 a car, you getting gas, and the man say the money not enough. Then you getting all the amenities. Then you go to a Peaceville Community School, the children sitting down on the ground. You go to Riverside County, you see the government school. They say it doesn't get that kind of way, and we sit down. In most other countries, this is what happens. The population will get together. In India, they've been rioting for 364 days because they want certain hospital in that district. Can Liberians riot for 3 days? So one something for their children.
Talk about one
I'm
day.
not talking about riots where you go and ruin things. I'm talking about you get together, a million Liberians get together in the streets and say, listen, we want a system here that is equitable. I told you guys here, according to your constitution of this republic, Article 8 of the Liberian Constitution. It's very simple. It says if you're a Liberian citizen in Liberia, wherever you are, if you're in this country and you want a job, the government has to provide a job for you. Or the government at a very minimum has to provide an enabling environment so jobs can be created for you. Young men and women, if you are not working, government have to provide job for you. Or they got to create an environment. If it not happen, all of you supposed to get your stuff here, the region 1 million your master capital building, your surrounding business, they don't work. Until you find you build some factory in Wheeler, we put some factory in Total in Sesto City, so we too can wear. When I come to your be baking your every day, be baking your just much. You take grown men. I'm 47 years old. Imagine me calling somebody Chi help you get one small thing. Chi they train to the all. Chi in the country rich. You know how the country rich. This country is so rich. This country is so rich, it will make America look like it really. Let me tell you how rich Liberia is. We have 5.5 million people in this country. I want for you to open your ear. My mother would say, to do. Open your ears. 5.5 million people in this country. We are so rich. If this country is run at 50% efficiency, I don't say 100%, I just say half. No Liberian citizen should live on less than 50,000 United States dollars per year. A typical Liberian today is living on $600 per year. We are dying because we neglect the responsibility of leadership in this country. Look, I say to our leaders, we elect people. Me and Nelson good inflomo. We used to say Opasan trying one country. They may remember representative that we have over the man. Representative that play to play. That play to play. We tell anybody to put in there. We tell you kind of decisions should be made in the legislature. The direction of this country is carved out in the legislature. They determine how district number 17 is elevated from this place of mediocrity to a place of prominence. But we sit down and say, hey, but like the man on time, who tells the government get time for you? Who doesn't you get time in government? It is a privilege. It is not a right. If you go serve, you have to leave a legacy. So when your children come after you, they can say, oh, my power, yo. My father's good name. You hear the Washingtons, the Hamiltons, the Kwame Nkrumah, the Nelson Mandela. They left a legacy. And that legacy will live on for eons after they are gone. But in our country, you tell one representative, they're going to be 2 years, they're going to gasoline, begin with a few or somewhere.
Yes. And these things happen. These things happen because Nelson, we will take course, right? We will take course very soon. These things happen because we have failed to put in systems. Let me tell you something. We have a rich country with a very poor leaders who are managing. And when a poor man is managing, wealth, it becomes a threat to society. Because this man, that is a poor man without idea. Poor is not just about the financial capability or the financial capacity of you. Sometimes mentally you become poor. How you work on your things, right? Like we have the transport sector. Let's just stick straight on the transport sector. How government can make money. Like I'm living here, as I'm seeing what governments are doing in Europe and been reading other papers about other countries. One thing, government is not just to do all. The country is very big and the government cannot serve everyone. What you do, outsource things to private institutions, let them do these things. Like for example, we have Liberians who want to go to red light. They are living in Central Monrovia, but they do not have 200 or 150 to pay their way. What you do? Introduce a transport the bus system. We saw, you think our bus system we get in our country, that thing what we get is say MTA. That's not bus system. Yeah.
My brother, you said something that is not entirely true. You say government cannot do all.
I'm saying like government has the ability, but government can invite people to come in and help. Like look at
I agree with you.
The example, right? To say, okay, we want to get bus buses running from Sinker to Red Light. Dwalu, do you have the capacity to do this project? Yes. Okay, Dwalu, this is what you should do. This is your percentage, and this is the government's percentage. Do it. Then Dwalu will go out there and lobby with people. Dwalu will bring in more buses that will only be for communities within that is communities within Cinco to Red Light. Dwalu will demarcate all those places and make the transportation very light. That you're gonna do a recharge like the way we do here, right? In America, where people will just recharge monthly. Maybe if it is like $10 per month, 30 days, you move on. All you need to do when you get on that bus, you show your ticket. You show your ticket to the people when they are
Yeah,
inspecting. You say, oh,
good day. I hold your
eh?
phone. Yeah.
Uh,
I have to make this point. Oh, somebody giving you a thumbs up. But good,
uh-huh.
let me say this though. Let me say this to you, brother. I agree with you to some extent, but I want some clarifications to be made. Gentlemen, those of you guys in the audience, I love this and the interactions. I love it. But I want to say this to you. I will never call for uprising against the government. I want an awakening of the Liberian mind. This is what I want. Awakening. If awakening means uprising to making sure we up the standard of living in this country, I'm all for it. But I will say this. Good day. The government's job. Let me define what government is. Sometimes here in Liberia, we confuse the duties of government. The government is a regulatory body. Let me repeat. The government, I referee. The government's job is simple. You don't have to go ahead and want to create job. Every time we think about job creation in this country, people look to government. The government does not have a capacity, true capacity, to hire more than 30,000 people in this country. But we'll balloon the payroll up to 70,000 people, and we expect production. Whenever you crowd a space, that only 2 people will be there, but when you put tempo there, it lowers efficiency, it lowers production. This is not Dwalu saying it. This is empirical. It's been tested by 10,000 universities across the globe. This is simple. The government has to regulate. If the government creates an environment that supports private sector growth, it is going to grow. It's going to be regulated. Our government has become absent in the creation. Look, private operations can expand this country beyond the bounds of anything you can think about. I just published a paper.
Yes.
But if President Bwaka does not develop a vibrant private sector, he will fail. Google the paper, check it out, and read it for yourself.
What he's going
we're
to fail
saying here
if
in
he
this country,
fails
we must
to
give
do it.
power. My biggest thing that I can talk about, that's what probably tested it. If we continue to let the Liberian family break apart, if you come to this country, our men and women, they're not staying together. That means the children, they're not raising themselves. That means we're going to increase the Zogo numbers. That means we're going to let our culture, our Liberian, our unique culture is going to disappear. Because your Liberian family, the traditions and customs of our ancestors is not being passed along. This is what worries me. When you see your man doesn't have a job, he cannot keep a wife, and our wife goes away, she's born by 3 different men, you're dismantling the Liberian family. By extension, you're destroying our community. By a greater extension, you're destroying this country. This is what worries me. This is why I talk, because the Liberian family must be protected. And part of protection of the Liberian family, you got to create jobs for the men and women to go to work so they can stay together. So we can create a vibrant society, a proper community where we can raise our children, like the one that I grew up in Grand Bassa County, Buchanan, when I was a boy. Who grew up in a community where the fathers were there, the mothers were there. You know, we went to proper school, and people, and how can we replicate that? We are losing that in this country. And it should worry every single one of us. Every single one of us. Come, don't take Dwadu's word for it. They train you're born in one child, so they go inside your one child. I'm not putting down anything. I'm talking about an ill society that is eventually going to harm every single one of us. That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah. We need a CEO in Liberia because Liberia is like a business entity, right? A country is like a business entity where the president serves as the CEO. We need a CEO who is business minded to manage our system. Because let me tell you something. I'm not saying President Boakai is going to fail, but he's on a path of repeating what past leaders did. That is not putting the system into place, allowing people to ride on his, uncle or whatever shape that they will bring out, and making statements that he will not back up. Like we are seeing the assets recovery team is slowly dying. They need to be recovered even before they start recovering assets, right? We are seeing that happening. So President Barker, if he wants to be one of the greatest president in the history of Liberia, he needs to recalibrate and think why he was elected. Put in system. Our country is back up. Hey man, you will not know until one day when God turn His light on you, you just leave that country. You look around at it and see that country. You will regret it and say, "Damn, I've been wasting my time." Yes, we are back up. Like here, what Dwalu says, you moving Serene or whatever behind you. No official here can do that thing. When you hear that in this country, it's either emergency or police doing chase or police in the traffic doing something. Those are the only people you hear them. Not senator, minister. Hell no, you're not going to see that happening here like that. The last time we saw that happening was when President Biden was coming to Poland for the NATO meeting. That was last year. We saw Serene, convoy moving, but we don't have these systems. We have to have a system in Liberia where when James Flomo is the deputy minister, if he's wrong in the traffic, let the police pull him over and prosecute. Here, the people who they look for in the West, those who are in authority. When you violate the law, they want to set an example that the common people in the community will say, damn, if they're going to treat a minister or a high-ranking person, musician, celebrities, those are the people to look for. Example, Robert Sylvester Kelly is currently locked up for 30 years. If that was Liberia, nothing was going to happen.
Look,
nothing was going to happen.
Good. I want the president to set up a special wing of the police, and that wing only specializes in arresting big-shot senators, representatives, ministers.
They will never arrest them.
Put them in handcuff and slam their face into the pavement. If they do something wrong, and throw them in the back of a police vehicle and take them to. Look, I would love to see that on camera. We say establishing justice. Look, let me tell you something. Because you can tell you thing. Let me tell you something. This country, they play what we hear. Like, I don't understand. You're not talking on about no country, no terrible. They're not me talking it here. This is historical. Go to the history books. Go to the history books and read the reports from every single country that has developed. I'm not asking you to go outside the confines of the law. I say if you enforce this law in this country consistently for 10 years, aggressive enforcement and a proper leadership at the helm, this country could literally become a middle-income country in 25 years. And this is not exaggeration. Read the reports. We know how practically something can be done, but we just refuse over and over. And I have to make this point before I give it back to my brother here. Look, never would I ever come here and not recognize that Honorable Bwaga, our current president, has just been in power for less than 4 months, less than 5 months. I don't expect him to do all of this. At no point would I suggest that. But if you're naive to not understand that the governance process in Liberia is almost 200 years old and we are not getting anywhere, then there's something wrong with you, I believe, inherently. What I'm saying here is we have to hasten the process of service delivery to our people so our people can feel the impact of government leadership. Government leadership is not something you kowtow to somebody and say, you know what wrong, you're not leader. No. You have to produce so that people can feel it in Sesto, in Zwedru, in Vonjima, in Sanikwele, in Kimman, Tottenbury. They have to feel the impact of that. Do you know most of the people in the southeastern portion of this country feel entirely disconnected from this country, not just by role, but by the political influence of Monrovia? It's not even there. They don't even look to Monrovia. They look to the forest. They look to the chiefs, the local chiefs, because government is far removed from them. They don't see that. And then when that happens, you're losing. It's a portion of losing your sovereignty in that faction. People in Maryland look to Ivory Coast. Some parts of Grand Judah, they look to Ivory Coast. People along the border, some in my county, they look to Guinea and other places. They have to look to Monrovia. And the way you can get them to look to Monrovia is making sure government is present. By government presence, I mean government service provision in these local counties. Let's localize our operations. The election, the appointment of superintendents is crazy. It's crazy. How can somebody who's a superintendent of Remittance County be beholden to a president in Monrovia? He or she must be beholden to the people whom he serves in Sesto, not in Monrovia. It is completely disconnected. This is crazy.
And the type of government that we
Yeah,
have, right? I
certainly.
think, yeah, go
And
ahead,
I
Michael.
think we find ourselves in a space where um, the leadership, the people who govern our country, most times are concerned about the next election. And so the whole idea of a next election, whether or not you're going to have the opportunity to be reelected by the people, steps in, and it turns out to be the very thing that undermines most of those very beautiful ideas that will come, like some of what you're talking about. So a particular leadership, take for example the motorcyclist thing we were just talking about. Former President Ellen Johnson Sirleaf, under her administration, similar thing was rolled out. In no time, we got ourselves back in this same space. Under President George Weah, he came back. The no-go zone thing, they tried to enforce it to some extent. Next election, oh, okay. And then the motorcyclists threatening, okay, next election, let's see. In no time, it was swept under the carpet. Now here we are. Another administration is in power very early, too early. And then they want to roll out this process. Next election, let's see. So at the end of the day, most of those beautiful things will not happen because in the process of rolling it out, there are people who will get affected. Those people have the power to elect the 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 the, the leaders who are behind those enforcement. And because they have the power to elect, when they threaten the leaders then decide to back down. So
Leadership
it
cannot
will
go about
continue to undermine most of the developmental agendas, and until we get to that point where we realize that uh, putting those things in order are more important than the next election. Take for
Yeah.
example, we have the city government
Mm.
removing the street sellers, trying to give the city a facelift.
Yeah.
In the face of everything, the last time we spoke to some of those guys, they said, okay, so we just voted them. They just came to power and they're taking breath from our mouth. They're
Yeah.
removing us from the streets. So let's see what happens. 2029 is not far. 6 years
And
too short.
they should take
So,
them out.
there needs to be that
Yeah.
point where even the citizens, they will, there will be some sort of mental revolution. Where they can shift their thought pattern, that mindset that because you voted a particular government, they should not effectuate a particular process that will transform the country because you are personally affected. We need to drive away from that.
Yeah, yeah,
Until
yes.
we get to that
Just
point,
to add up to what you're
it's
saying,
gonna
right,
be
Nelson.
difficult. I mean,
Yeah, it's an unfortunate necessity that we vote leaders who will not give us their national and international policy. I want the Barker administration. Judge, we are gone. We are is a history. We have Barker now. Let Barker and his team come and give us, President Barker and his team, let them come and give us just their national policy. And again, we need to do away
no,
with
but James, the arrest agenda is there.
forget about that
There's
arrest
nothing else.
agenda.
We
That thing is paper. We
Come on.
you let me tell you something. Government is not about what's on the paper. Government is about what you do that generations to come will benefit, not papers. Those documents will get web away, or when you store them on the web, people will just read them. Let's see implementations that even if we are dead and gone, 100 years from now, people will say, when the arrest agenda came, this was the national policy of the Unity Party administration. President Barker did this, President Weah did this. We need to see these things. And again, one thing that we need to discourage right now is appointment of city mayors and superintendents in Liberia. We need to elect these people because the reason we have to elect them, they are sub-government. They are sub-government that need to generate their own revenue. Go to Nigeria. They elect governors in our system due to our government, our system of government. We have superintendents who serve as the head of counties, right? We need to elect these people. When we elect them, they will be able to run their own government, generate their own revenue, implement their internal policy, in state policy. If we do these things at the end of the day, Liberia, that is the national policy in Liberia. If we do these things, we will see some improvement. Because, hey, if James Fomo is appointed as superintendent of Monterrey County, I have to do what the president going to tell me, brother. I'm not going to violate, because if I say no to him, he's going to fire me. But if I am elected by my people, the president cannot fire me.
Again, James,
Mhm.
it's going to take us back down the same route.
No, but we have laws
We're still
that
facing
says
the
that we
same
should
issue.
elect these people.
So if we're electing the president,
Mhm.
vice president, and all those people, when we elect them, they want to roll out a particular maybe process, whatever they want to do. Let's say they want to do something that will bring about change. We threaten them with next election. If we're doing that to the president, what is the guarantee that if you were to elect a city mayor XYZ, this person is not equally going to be concerned about the next
Okay.
election?
Okay. The
So
problem
at the
that
end of the day, it's more with the mindset of the average Liberian, wherein we think
you asked a
that
beautiful
because we
question.
vote people, they should live, they should do what we want them to do, but not what they intend to do to bring transformation to the environment, to the country or county.
That's it.
So,
That's it. And good old, let me tell you,
Mm.
me, history is my guy.
hmm,
When and Jerry Joe Rowling was in Ghana, initially people did not like what he was doing. He's a celebrated figure today. Marco
Yeah.
Foley advertising there is a celebrated figure today. You talk about the Kigamis of the world, initially when they first came to power. Let me tell you something. There is no third world society in the history of mankind that has ever changed without a calculated degree of force being introduced. I'm
People
talking
gotta
legal
cry.
force. The calculation has to be made whether or not re-election will be your bidding. A leader cannot worry about what those he lead feel to the extent that he's doing the right thing. Let me rephrase it this way. As long as you're following the Constitution of this republic, you are fair to Liberian citizens under the guidelines established by our legislature, saying AUPP OSA.
hmm,
That $10 fine. And this is the law. And our Ensu Upazina Bolakai Dwalu is president of this republic. A UPP OSA, you will pay that $10 fine. In fact, our meeting is too less of a fine. There'll be additional consequences attached. We'll write new statutes. You have to look. You should not care of losing the presidency. Because
Yes.
if you do that, you're going to fail as a leader.
Yes.
Because what you do now is you cut out. Oh, when I go into Grand Cape, man, if I have people, I gotta say assalamu alaikum. No. I will not say assalamu alaikum. If I go to Grand Jide, I'm not going to say, oh, Mother Jide. I understand politically you have to be savvy. I get that. But if you're doing something only to stay in power, you are going to fail. Do something to make sure what you've done live on far beyond you. You will succeed because eventually the people will start to see it. They say you're building a 20-story building. When you first start, they say, what the other man doing here? You're holding route over there all day. Then gradually, you get your first floor. They say, oh,
yeah,
but then man, that's money. Well, gradually get a second floor. They say, you man, crazy, make money. Maybe still government money. Next thing you get a third floor. They say, but then man, ready to go. You get your fourth floor. They say, but then you don't have to make carry debt to the place. You have to win the mind of your people with your leadership. Don't worry about what they are going to think initially. Only one requirement is needed. The Bible tells you so. Even our Constitution says so. Be just and be consistent in your application of God's giving truth to your people. Eventually, they will come around. Be just. Don't fear anything. A leader fears nothing but the people, the wrath of the people, if he's doing the wrong thing. If your leadership is going to transform this country, you have to be tenacious. You have to be unwavering in your approach. Sour walk. They call it sour walk. You know what they call it sour walk for? That they play what people are supposed to walk. People say they
Yeah.
market. When you want to move the market, they say, oh, you know, they break for an hour more. Then you say, maybe just did it. You feel the pop me outside. You cannot run the society that way. Do you know the very Liberians, when they leave Liberia, when they go to New York City, they don't go say on the sour. Do you know why? Because not
Because
only
of the
will they
system.
arrest you,
The
they will
system.
fine you and you might go to jail because you not only you intentionally broke the law, you now create debt on the road. Plenty happening.
Yeah.
I am not suggesting that you take people up or take daily bread from the mouth because no Liberians will take one thing out of a sentence. I'm saying let the law be enforced. Think beyond the typical. Go beyond it. Okay, instead of sitting on the sidewalk, we'll create a new enclave where everybody who want to buy a new phone charger have to go to this location. The sidewalk has to stay for people who in wheelchair, for people that are walking, because that's what they call sidewalk. So you can walk on the side, you can walk on the road, for car hear you. Now,
But
what
in
is our
Liberia, to even work there, you have to be very careful before you spot somebody market.
Thank you.
Certainly. Um,
Because that's my people, my man. At the few
yeah,
time, I know
yeah.
Stanton, the guys should be here soon. Evangeline Mamita, how you doing, my big sister? It's been a while. Mary G. Weah, Pata, hey, how you doing, soldier? Chief Vavla Cully, as he Paul T. Warrior, Teresa Green, Wilbur Doba, how are you doing? As he Raymond Sumo, how you doing, my brother? Thanks for agreeing. Sita H. Herman, how you doing? Google Watson. But I'm watching what's going on. I see my girl Kona Gator. How are you doing, Kona? How's everything out there, wherever you are? I see Dennis Brooks, Mr. Brooks, welcome to the show. Jerry Dubley out of Springfield, Massachusetts. My own brother out there. I'm wondering if I see Edwin Zabon. I see Felix Steele. I see Dennis Brooks. I think I said his name already. I see Mary Fina Yama. Charles, Philip Bala, Mr. Bala, welcome to the show. Walala Lua, how are you doing? Ruth Goba, Oma Ye Leye, how are you doing? Moses is Keller, Meyer Mondubi, how are you doing? Jay Carter, I see Vera Yata Walker, Madam Vera, welcome to the show. I see Masa Khan Wilson, Solomon Duana, Mr. Duana, welcome to the show. I see David Boca, Selena Zize, Clarence Benson, Joshua Patakali, how are you doing? So, Amos Tukpa, Mr. Tukpa, welcome to the show. I see Eddie Freeman, Eddie Sapron, welcome to the show as well. Clarence Benson, all across this country, from Zordru to Bunjaman to Topmanburg to my beloved Grand Bassa County, across this country. Welcome to the show. Let's talk Liberia. We must engage the issue because if we don't, we are dying. This is a saying. I believe the Chinese said this. If you live idle, if you become dormant in your approach, you increase or you accelerate your growth rate. The Liberian must do something. If we are not going to die as a people, now I'm talking die figuratively because we collectively we are one people. That means that we are going to continue to grow through our children. We must lay a solid foundation that stands firm, even if we are not here, that our children can walk down the street of Broad Street without having to jump over poo water. You know what I mean? Right now, today, they poo water on Broad Street. How can we make sure my beloved Cecilia, my daughter, or my son Connor, or my son N2 does not jump over poo water on Broad Street? It's to set up the institutions now, force the issue, so government can work for the people. Once again, man, Fadiga, welcome to the show, brother.
Hey, Dwalu, thanks, man. Man, Dwalu, the hurtful part of the Morovia whenever I'm traveling is coming from across the bridge or the Gabriel Tucker Bridge, either side. It breaks my heart for some of us that have traveled even around Africa and around Europe. That's the most beautiful part of Liberia. The most beautiful part of the city. That bourgeois island, coming there. And guess what? Every time I look at those dilapidated buildings, the plastic in the water, it breaks my heart to the point I almost want to shit. Yeah, and that is where you just go in this mood of daydreaming, say, hey, I wish I had $1 million, millions or hundreds of millions. I don't care whichever bar or the because going down Front Street, that's any country. The most beautiful part of Liberia. In fact, something that you cannot even put a price tag or just imagine if that waterway, because you know that they can clean that entire, I don't know what a river or whatever it is, and they can remove all the plastic. One of my buddy has a boat. So we're coming from across Hotel Africa way there. And he told me, he said, Hussein, I can't go to that side. He said, the boat can go all the way from river. It takes me less than an hour. He said, but you know what?
Yeah,
We can't go there because the propeller will get stuck about the plastic
the
in the
debris.
water.
Yeah,
So, yeah. So they cannot go on that side. So he said that why they cannot move the boat there. But that's the most beautiful. Leaders in, leaders out, they have seen the beauty of other countries. And those that beautiful coastal land and wetland is lying in ruin. It breaks my heart every time I see it. Beautiful country, but how do we get there? Listening to you guys, listening to Good Day, listening. Look, all good point. We know the but Good Day. I disagree on one point though. These things starts with a blueprint. It's not only just mere people. If it is not written down, it's not going to get done. The
correct.
God is like the map. You're going somewhere blindfolded. So we need that arrest or whatever you can call it, CDC have. PAPD or whatever they call it, other people hire. That is the blueprint. If it is not implemented, it got nothing to do with the blueprint. But you cannot start anything without a blueprint. That is the
No, I
simple
did not
truth.
say they should not have it. If you have it, we should see
Mhm.
implementations.
No, but the
Yeah.
beginning of implementation started. I agree. The paper means nothing. The document means nothing if there's no implementation. But before anything, we need that blueprint. Look, when you look around Liberia, there's short. We have laws. There's
So
no look,
so
laws
let me
on
just ask you
everything.
one question while you continue flowing,
Mhm.
right? So the blueprint of the arrest, is this implementation part of it about the 22 million that was used just on Dustin Road? A wasted resources. A wasted resource, rather. We just wasted our money on that. So go ahead and make us understand how we could manage that money, that 22 million, to see more impact than what we created.
uh, Yesterday, I think I was being very generous, and I
Mhm.
mentioned about government bureaucracy. Look, it happened in America too, though. I'll tell you, or even the Western countries. But I will tell you about ours. What make ours just bad? I agree with you on that point. That whether it's 22 million spent, it could have been spent differently. And so many other things that could have been done differently. The reason why I will not ready use the 22 million as a yardstick, because there's a lot about that 22 million, and I wish government would be more transparent. I like some of the initiative by Senator Amara Kone that want to make government less secretive, secret, so that mean they remove secrecy from government, so that everything that is public should be public, except where it has to do with national security. That people shouldn't have to look with microscope. That they put things that have to do with government in the blue fine print that is so small that you cannot see it. I wish we could do that, because when government become answerable to the people and they explain themselves, the people won't have to look for answer. They won't have to turn to social media, turn to talk show, turn to journalists to give them the information. The information is there. You can see it on the website. You can see it. That is transparency. So with this 22 million you are talking about, I always say the devil is in the detail. One of the things I saw on that 22 million that made it sound like something to say, oh yeah, for the left of the budget cycle. But we don't know. I rather don't know if that how 22 million was spent and the roads are still dilapidated and the roads have not even gone to. I agree with you. That is money that could have probably been, in fact, they should have just say, you know what, we'll take one corridor and just spend that 22 million and fix it, versus just dashing it on multiple things and just spend it. But yet and still, it sounds too good to be true. I just refuse to believe that 22 million just went in thin air and something. So as I studied this and ask more questions and get more information, then I'll make a definite decision. But for now, I just refuse to believe that this new administration just in 100 days spent 222 million. There is more to this story. Trust me.
No, to be frank with you, not something that I have not consulted with them or I have not confirmed with them, but I can partly confirm that they have not spent all that money. They still
Exactly.
using it. Yes,
So I don't want us
that's
to
something that I,
insinuate that, because
from my own
it sounds
perspective.
different in the public. That's my fear.
Hmm.
It sounds different. This is one of the biggest platform. I'm telling you, people
Yeah.
listen to this platform. The president listens to it. A lot of government ministers, international partners. So I'm a little, apprehensive to pass just this broad judgment. So I'm glad you're saying it. So let us be mindful that 22 million was spent to the ordinary man. We just came to power 100 days. We've been so wasteful. We spent 22 million when people can't even get one cup of rest. Then, that brings about anger. So let's be a little mindful and ask the hard question. We got access to these people. Let us bring them, let them explain themselves.
Yeah, Fadiga, welcome. Guys, Mommy, welcome to the show. I agree. The people listen to this platform heavily. I said I was at the agriculture ministry, and I was sitting there with a British national. He was like, when I first came to Liberia, and I was trying to understand this society, The people told me, said, if you really want to understand, like, we were trying to Spoon Network. He said, this is all I listen to. And when you realize, hey, you must be Dwalu, I follow this show religiously. But I want to say this, though, go there. Fadiga has a point. For something to be actualized, you first have to envision it. Then you have to dream it. Then you have to pen it. Then you have to implement it. Then you have to see it. There's a progression in that process. And that process is crucial for anything that must be done. Now, we have a few guests in the studio. They've been here for a while. We've been waiting for the guys to come in. It seems they're not coming in. So we're going to try to bring them on. Let's start the show when the guys, wherever they meet us, we're going to go from there. I think that's what it'll be. Remember, if you got 1 or 2 minutes to chime in before the guests are brought into the studio, let's hear you, brother.
Yeah, I mean, good to be here. Connectivity issues. It's good to connect. I heard the conversation about models being reset. I want to be very careful. If you connect,
Mommy, your internet is breaking up. Mommy, can you hear me? If you can log out and log back in, there's a sporadic intermittent coming in and going out with your internet service. So I don't know if you can log out.
Let me check it out.
Yeah.
Let's check it out.
So in the meantime, and Nelson, you want to bring the people into the studio? Let's hear from them, and let's begin the show. Whatever the guys meet us, that's where we're gonna go from.
Oh yeah, so let me bring the first person in, and then I'm gonna bring the next person in once I set up for him.
Yep, Mr. Roland Johnson, welcome to the show. I see you guys in the studio. I'm gonna have you introduce yourself. Give a brief overview why you're here and what can we talk about.
All right, thank you very much. I'm Roland S. Johnson. I'm the chairman of the Small Rubber Farm Board of Liberia. Then we came to discuss the moratorium on the unprocessed rubber living in the country. We don't want the moratorium to be lifted. This is why we came to discuss tonight. That is our aim tonight, to discuss the process of the moratorium.
So the moratorium, you don't want it to be lifted.
We don't want it to be lifted.
Okay, so can you tell us reasons why, at least a brief reasons why you don't want it lifted?
There are a few reasons why we don't want the moratorium to be lifted. But before we move forward, let me introduce my Secretary General, who is pretty seated, Paul Moses.
We're gonna send him.
And then, like I said, a few reasons why the moratorium shouldn't be lifted. Number one reason is that the moratorium is helping the rural farmers, the small rural farmers who are in Liberia. Before the inception of the moratorium, there were theft rates in the country. That is theft rate in the rubber sector.
1 second, Nelson, they say his volume is very low. If we can up his volume a little bit more, we'll appreciate it so the audience can get him. Go ahead. But then listen, I want you to understand this. Explain what the moratorium was doing for the smallholder farmers. What exactly was it doing? Was it putting more money in your pocket? If they lift the moratorium, what's that going to do to your rubber plantations, etc.?
This is where I started.
Okay. So
I started from the theft rate first.
Okay.
And I'm discussing it.
Okay.
The first thing I want to say to you, Mr. Dwalu, is that before the introduction of the moratorium in this country by the former president, there were a lot of theft rates at the various farms, along with the small rubber farm holder. People used to go on the small rubber farms holder, which is the farms, to go and take their various crops. They steal it to go and sell it to the rubber brokers.
Okay.
Because the rubber brokers did not investigate.
Okay.
They didn't care where rubber come from. They were buying rubber randomly all over the Republic of Liberia. So since the moratorium came into place, the moratorium now is helping our various farms. So you can see the theft rate now has automatically reduced.
Mr. Johnson, what is a moratorium? So what does a moratorium say? The current moratorium in the country, does it say anybody who sells rubber to a person X must meet certain guidelines? What does it say exactly that is protecting you?
The moratorium is an executive order that is being placed by the President of the Republic of Liberia.
Okay.
That is the unprocessed rubber not to leave the country.
Okay.
That is all the unprocessed rubber that is being in this country should be processed in this country and being given an added value that we will be able to experience not just a finished value in our country. So we came to discuss holistically that the moratorium shouldn't be lifted, because when the moratorium is lifted, it's going to increase the theft rates on the small rubber farms holder in this republic. So we are calling on the government of the Republic of Liberia that the rubber brokers in this country, they are not adding value to the rubber sector in this country. They only buy rubber for anybody. Like for instance, let me drive a little bit. You will see people will go on various farms, on the small rubber farms. They will go and take their various rubber from their farm, which is to steal it. They will take it to the rubber broker. When they take it to them, they will go and sell it at any cost or any price. They, which is the rubber brokers, will go and buy it and ship it out of this country. They are not adding value. They are not adding value to the rubber. They create jobs for different country citizens. But we that produce it, we that have the small farms in this country, people who go on their farms to tap rubber, to produce the rubber, we want to sell to various companies so that those companies will be able to employ our citizens.
Thank you. Thank you. I want to go to Mr. Holmes for a second before I go to the panelists to ask the question. Mr. Holmes, what do you have to say? You got 1 or 2 minutes, introduce yourself and speak briefly on the topic that you're here for, sir.
Thank you one more, Mr. Dualo. I don't know if my voice is amplified.
You're good so far. Go ahead.
Thank you for these opportunities. Before I can go through, I want to extend my sincere gratitude to Mr. Waterspoon, Stanton Waterspoon, because this Spoon FM is the voice of the voiceless. At times we use data. To actually access. I'm so proud to see Mr. Duado, because those days when I followed the Spoon FM, I can see a lot of boats. Yeah, as a councilman, a councilor, I can see a lot of boats on library. So I'm actually amazed to see Mr. Duado. Mr. Duado. Let me use the occasion to say I'm very well-winning. As a farmer's son, to be in this particular studio. Okay, I'm from Lower Masurado, Tuli District. I'm an administrator of the home farm, rubber farm, smallholder, small farm. We are confronted with a lot of issues. When it comes to the rural sectors. You see, we are contributing to the Liberian economy. There is no distinction when it comes to all pay to the various companies where we sell our rubber. But specifically, we are here to speak to us about one issue. The issue has to do with what is confronting us. We are actually happy and secure because of the particular executive order went on the floor that was played by the former President Weah, who look at the legacy of the former president as well, Eli Johnson Sirleaf, who 2008 look at the challenges that farmers were faced with and other companies. See that there should be a moratorium. Unprocessed rubber should remain here in order to at least promote the economy of Liberia.
Okay.
Promote the economy of Liberia is based on, we know every sale, what a big farmer, what an ordinary farmer, you take 4%. 4% again, you take again our PAL 2%. $2. Or our DL, you take again the other percentage that will be taken on the raw farmer.
Yes, Mr. Holmes.
Yes.
Okay, so we the people will have some questions for you, but let me just ask my first two questions, and I'll give it to I think it's my brother Fadiga that came in first. Mr. Johnson, I'm going to come to you.
Yeah.
The rubber prices in Liberia, are they competitive compared to other countries, or do we sell at a lower price as it currently stands?
Yeah, for now, I will say to you that it is competitive.
So regionally, in the sub-region, so they are
we got competition now into the market.
Okay.
Let me draft a little bit. When I got into the rubber sector, I have a farm at Kokota in Magibi County.
Okay.
And I experienced a company. We saw a company that entered in Magibi County called a Leaf Group. When Leaf Group entered, first it was Firestone. Firestone is the mother company in this republic.
Mm-hmm.
We cannot read Firestone. We cannot disrespect Firestone. Firestone have been helping we the local farmers in this republic. We don't want to know their differences with the government, but we want to tell the Liberian people that Firestone have been doing well, because with all Firestone, our rubber couldn't have been bought at that time. So Firestone have been holding the rubber sector from 1924, 1928 up to now. So we want to congratulate Firestone. But I'm speaking specifically when it comes to Leaf Group. When Leaf Group enter, when you pass Wales, you get to Bon County, there's a company there called Leaf Group. When Leaf Group first came in this country, they started with 3 shifts. They started buying rubber when it got established. But because they were not getting enough rubber, they reduced those shifts to 1 shift today. Because there were rubber brokers who were buying rubber and shipping it all over this country. So Leaf Group wouldn't have been able to employ our citizens in this country, our brothers and sisters. So now, with the inception, there's an Indian company called, I think, Jetty Rubber.
Mm-hmm.
We have one Jetty Rubber. Jetty Rubber have brought a serious competition into the rubber sector. Like for instance, this gone December, we were able to encourage our farmers in this republic. Firestone wasn't buying. Firestone said they were not buying because I think they had their own internal issue. And then the molecule will replace. They wasn't buying.
Okay.
But this Indian company, Mr. Dwalu, please 1 minute. This Indian company were able to withstand the purchase of rubber in December. They bought every rubber that entered into that company. And before that, the rubber brokers were used to take the rubber. I don't say purchase. I'm using a specific word. They used to take the rubber from the local farmers and tell them, oh, the rubber that you have brought, we don't have money today. So go and come back after 2 weeks. We'll pay your money. The farmer will be discouraged, taking to go back. But then the broker will go back to the farmer and say, you see that man standing under the plum tree there? Go to that man get money. Go and negotiate with the man. If you go there, the man will say, I will take 25% all of your money, then I will give you a cash. If you are to get $1,000, Mr. Dualu calculates 25% out of 1,000. The rubber broker were in total commune of those people who were disbursing the money. So at that time, there was no competition. But when the Indian company came in, Mr. Dualu, don't forget about politics. Don't put everything one side. Go and follow from local farmers in Magibi, in Bon County, in Nima County, in Grand Basso County, in Mosorado. People who take rubber to that place, they receive cash upon your arrival. The moment you go and your rubber is being weighed, they take off every other things that they need to take off, which is all of the taxes. They pay you cash down. They even fee you.
Mr. Johnson,
yes.
I appreciate your response.
Yeah.
Because we have a lot of guys on the show. I'm going to go to Fatiga. Let's keep our answers very short to the point so we can ask all the questions. For a very long time, a lot of rubber brokers have been around Liberia. Yeah. We ain't got no Liberian rubber mill in here. For me, that bothers me. With all the rubber we're selling, Everybody else takes the money. Fadiga, coming with your 2 questions, sir. Either to either panelist. You're muted, sir.
You are muted.
The gentleman that is speaking, I can't see his name.
Your volume?
The gentleman that is speaking, he's rolling, right?
He's Johnson.
Johnson. Sorry, I'm using my phone, and the letters kind of very small, and my eyes is crazy. But I'm listening to this gentleman. I grew. I'm a Firestone guy. I grew up in Firestone, so I not to say that I know a lot about rubber, but I know a lot about how we can sell this country for little or nothing. I don't know which group you represent. Executive Order 124 mentioned few things. In the problem statement, they outlined that the reason why this was in place was because misuse, abandonment, especially theft through illicit tapping, and it led to a significant decline in production. That was what they said, and other things. But those were the main point. The then president, we are raised when they imposed that thing, and they specifically mentioned that brokers should not export unprocessed rubber. You just said something that got me more concerned than hopeful for the future of rubber in Liberia for you farmers. I don't know whether you guys understand what we are getting into, but let me break it down. Firestone used to be your biggest purchaser. Somehow Firestone stopped around December, right? Was it just that 1 month? If I got you right? Was it for 1 month?
1 month for what?
Was it 1 month that Firestone didn't purchase from the farmers? Or it went on for how long?
That was December.
In December, right? And then this jetty Indian company pop up, buy rubber, and then give you food. And then everything is fine. And you want it to be ruined that way. But sir, let me tell you something before I even ask the question. If you guys are not mindful, you guys will get in a situation that jetty, that Indian company, will dictate the prices of rubber to all this country. And no matter what, it won't go up, it won't come down. They will tell you how much they will purchase your press. I think, just based on my own observation, I think like if the government, like the American government, subsidize farmers by purchasing the thing at a very price that will give them livable wages. If you guys are not cannot process your own rubber yet and rely on a jetty and few other well-to-do individuals that are already ahead of you guys will be enslaved for the rest of the time and we'll come back to the same thing. So just a caution. So my question is, what do you guys have in place with these few? Not even one person that already seems to have monopoly over rubber. So all your rubber goes to that person. What there to guarantee that you will have a fair market value for your rubber? That rubber planter will continue to have a competitive price, in comparison to the world market.
Okay, let me answer your question. You talk about if we are not careful.
You are very low, Nelson.
You talk about if we are not careful, the price will be dictated. The rubber price will be dictated by a company. But I want to say to you, the price will not be dictated. Chief, I don't really know your name, but let me say to you that in the economy, in every economic system of the country, we got added value. In the added value system, every country should be able to process the unfinished product to a finished product. That you'll be able to see the added value in your country. But you are talking about the Indian company specifically. Let me expand on that. We have Firestone, we have LAC, we have Lee Group, we have SRC, then we have the Indian company. So we have so many companies in this country. Now, I want to say to you that people in this country are yearning for investors to come to invest in our country. Investors has come to invest in our country. You want to take the unprocessed rubber from them to send it to Malaysia for it to be processed in Malaysia to provide more jobs for the Malaysian so that their economy will be able to grow. Then your country will remain poor. I think that idea is not something that we Liberians should be able to yearn for. I am saying to you and to the Liberian people that the unprocessed rubber, since companies are here, we should be able to prioritize the company to encourage more investors to come in our country to invest.
Thank you,
so
sir.
that they will be able to employ our brothers and sisters and they will be able to pay taxes. And those taxes will go back to government and the government will be able to undertake development.
Mr. Rolex, I'm going to go back
Let
to
me come to
Let's keep the
let me
question.
finish my second
Okay,
question.
there's a second question, please.
Yeah, my second question. I'm not against value addition. It is important in every. In fact, we Firestone has started that since 1926 when it came to Liberia. My problem is not the value addition. My problem here is what are they taking out? Jetty is a foreign company. Why can you guys, as farmers and brokers, process your own rubber? You have to rely on. You guys been taking rubber for other year for years. You can't tell me that you cannot go to the bank or you cannot encourage your government to be able to build your own processing plant. If you have to rely on a foreign national again, what's stopping you is like they're doing the same thing that they will be probably doing in Malaysia, but they're just going to be doing it here. That's my fear. So why can you guys own your own stuff in your own country? You have to rely on a jetty or one other foreign company. That is my problem because you're still not helping you still colonizing the whole process. So what is stopping you guys from owning it?
What we need to understand when it comes to the price mechanism in this republic is that I don't want the company to regulate the price of rubber in this country. When we firstly appeared before the House of Senate, the chairman of agriculture, Honorable Jivon Smith, we suggested to the Honorable that there should be a three parties that will be able to regulate the price of rubber in this country. One, the government, the rubber producer, and the companies. There should be a board set up. It is happening in Ivory Coast. It is happening in other countries. There should be a particular board set up to regulate the price of rubber in this country, because when the company determine the price of the rubber, the producer will not be happy, which is the small farms owner will not be happy. So we want the government to come in, and then in every economic system or the economic system, we have three sectors. We have the primary, we have the secondary, and we have the tertiary system. So for me, I want to say to you that among the three sectors, the first sectors that every companies or every country rely on is the secondary sector, which is the secondary sector will be able to process the unfinished product to the finished product. But those people that are buying rubber and shipping it out of the country, they are putting citizens together to protest against the government, forgetting to know that the president of the Republic of Liberia has the executive right to either lift up the moratorium or enforce the moratorium. So they are not in favor of the government. We are saying to you, but we are not going to protest because the government is very young. We should be able to help the government to succeed.
Thank you.
Now be speak.
Mr. Johnson, I'm going to go to Mr. Holmes to respond to the same question that Fadiga asked. I'll give you 1 minute, Mr. Holmes. Can you respond to that, sir?
Okay. Thank you again once more for the opportunity. For 1 year is we are farmers. The issue we are confronted with is quite different from people who analyze. Okay, we are farmers who know those things that is affecting us. Or Mr. Fatty guy, for your analysis, just told that it just based on also they say or the assessment. Or the farmers, the typical farmers, do not have the opportunities that we are here today as a representation. We are the smallholder farmer that representing the very in the 15 counties. But I will tell you point blank that the local farmer will appreciate the company to buy their commodity of the crops. Reason being, the broker will not do well. Let me tell you some instance. Or years back, there was no opportunity. To process rubber is not easy. I'll tell you, Mr. Duado, to tap rubber and process it to make it a ton or tonnage is not very easy. Can you take into consideration that after all that process, you have vehicle, you pay and go to a place where because there are no means. A fashion I don't been doing well in this country, me to you. But they were not able to buy all those products from the river farm. I will tell you, because of those challenges, because of this, to settle your area from the tapos, you can go be 1 minute, sir. To go to the river company or the brokers area to be specific. The Bofella, like the brother on the Boma Road. When you go, the way around, on the pretend that there's cat, after the way, no. Oh, please, can you come for your money in 1 week and they give you a voucher? And on that voucher, you know what they take? They take percentage of water laws, I call it or what? Okay, there's no money. How about you take water laws? Okay.
Mr. Holmes, thank you so much. We're gonna go with the rotation. We have about 15 more minutes before you gotta leave the studio. Ase, you got a question?
Yeah. So to you folks, who are the key players here? And what do you think is your relationship with them in reaching to a solution that can be kind of win-win, where everybody benefit?
We will say, if you ask for the meat players, we will say the small rubber farms holder are the meat players, because we produce the rubber from the various butchers. We pay tappers to tap our various crops and take it to the buying station or to the various buying companies. But you talk about win-win situation. I want to say to you, to find a remedy, we want to say the government should regulate the price, because the government is a regulatory arm in the entire world. They're not just in Liberia, in the entire world. They regulate everything. So I want to say to you, the rubber brokers are not people that we can rely on. For us, we the small rubber farms holder, we prioritize the interests of the Liberian. The first thing we look at is the employment rate. Liberia, we are crying for employment rate in our country. We want our citizens to be employed. Those guys that are buying rubber at the various buying station, they only get daily workers who offload trucks. They don't employ. But go to the various companies. First, got over 2,000 to 3,000 workers. Go to Lee Group. Lee Group got over 500 to 600 workers. Go to the Indian company. I don't know how they call it, Jetty, right? One Jetty. He has over 600 to 700 workers. Go to LAC. Go to SRC. And those people, all of those workers are paying taxes to the government. And those taxes are being used to carry on development in our country. Are we going to leave the company and go beyond rubber broker who are only amassing wealth for they and their family? For instance, to your question, let me expand a little bit. They deduct the GOL, which is 4%. That money is not being remitted to the government revenue, to the government cover. They use that money for themselves. When we are going after them, now I want to say it here. The RDF, they take $2 that the TV sing. Every sale of rubber, just imagine somebody a lady who are plenty of rubber here, or they'll just say her mother, they'll just say her husband has passed off. She has many children. She takes her 2-3 tons to go and sell it. You deduct 3% from her, with the notion that that money will go to the library coverage. And that money will go back to carry on development. You take that money for yourselves. You don't carry on the remission. That money don't go into government process and government coverage. You are investing. You are stealing for the librarian people. Then they are PAL. They take $2 for every sale from the poor farmers, and that money is not be paid. That money is not be paid to the government.
Thank you.
They take that money for themselves. So we want you to join us. Do not look at the brokers, but look at the interest of the librarian people. We want to say to you, join us so that we will be able to prioritize librarian interests, not the rubber brokers who are amassing wealth for themselves.
Thank you very
We're
much.
not against them.
Thank you.
So my second question
question
is based off that. So in your position, or from your perspective, basically the pricing that you guys get in terms of what they pay you from the brokers is worse than what you're getting from those who will get the right to export processed rubber and will buy from you? You're on mute.
Let me read it.
I said go ahead.
Oh, you didn't hear my question?
Yeah, I just want you to repeat it very briefly.
Oh, sorry. Okay. What I'm saying is your let's say your farm gate price or whatever price you sell at where they receive the rubber from you. For you, is it better to sell to the brokers or to sell to the people who are being the processors and exporters, or for you to sell over the border to other people who may want rubber? Which price is better for you?
The small rubber farms holder, their interest is people who brought company, that is the investors. We want to sell to the companies because the companies are employing our brothers and sisters. But the rubber broker, they are creating theft rates. They send people on our various farms to steal our crops to go and sell it to them. And they take the unprocessed rubber and ship it out of this country to create jobs for another people's country. So we want to sell to the companies that are employing our brothers and sisters in this country. Because when they employ our brothers and sisters will be paid and money will be in circulation in the economy. So we prioritize the company. So we want the monitoring to remain in place. Because when the monitoring is in place, automatically Liberia and the Liberian will be able to get development. Liberia will be able to be employed, and money will be in circulation. There will be free flow in the economy.
Thank you. Mohammed.
Thank you. Yeah, I got a question. I got a comment. The concept that, Fadiga was raising about Liberians having the opportunity to manufacture. Sorry, I'm.
It's okay, brother. So why you still there, Mr. Holmes?
Question for this.
Yeah, I want Mr. Holmes to chime in to ask his last question. We'll give him an opportunity to respond to it. I'll come back to you, Fadiga. Mr. Holmes, you got about a minute.
I'll take it again once more. For one fact regarding the company, we are local farmer, to be specific, the smallholder. Also smallholder, people who have unlimited acreage. Like you have a water system, because the farming system is based on the standard, 500 trees per acre, maybe 4, 5, 6, 7 acre. These are people that are less fortunate, who do not have the opportunity, or they prefer the company. I'm following that kind of glory because my late father left a farm. I'm an administrator of such at the Todi area, Todi district. Okay, for one fact, if you have the opportunity to sell to the company does not get buy raw ordinarily. They assess where you're raw. There are a lot of systems there to fill. You don't just go sell to the company easily because they want to know where the raw is from. But I challenge you, I've been selling to the raw broker. There's no assessment. They don't care. Raw broker just buy raw. Let me go to you. So they tell way and we are local farmer, no security. Why? How much you make it even? I want the raw price. What you will have to pay in security? I'll tell you, our farm have been that tell rate. I've been on a local farm that we cannot even check off. So my position here remains that hey, let's go that the president that's in charge of the country is agriculture. Even agricultural background, no industrial. Industry is a developed country. I want him, please, if you can in up or security measure that let me show that on person robot should leave the country is a fine thing. That we are local farmers who are suffer. Because while I was there, raw burger, they both don't play, they don't even know how to play raw.
They don't even know about raw.
They don't even know how to play raw. Because if you can know how to play raw, you don't get buy raw by motorbike. Raw burger, if you can take raw on the motorbike, they don't care to buy. You can't do the company fast too. You don't even do the fast too either.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Holm. Mr. Kude Flomo.
Okay.
Kude has not asked. We're almost out of time. I want Kude to come in. I leave with one question. You can do a follow-up. I know the guy wants to switch very quickly. So Kude, go ahead.
Yes, Mr. Johnson.
Very low. Yeah.
Mr. Johnson, I'm specifically coming in your direction, right? Are you a student of the Blue Crest University?
He's asking you, Mr. Johnson.
Are you a student of the Blue Crest University? We're not hearing you. Huh?
I think that should be far from our topic.
Mr. Johnson, we are discussing issues, Mr. Johnson. No, Mr. Johnson, you cannot determine what
my education background has.
No, Mr. Johnson, you cannot tell me what to ask you. If you don't want to answer, wipe it away. But that's my
question because it's far from the topic under discussion.
Okay, I'm sorry, right? Let me give a background of my question. Mr. Johnson was the commissioner of Wella when Jetty was established. He was the commissioner of Wella when Jetty was established in Wella. Mr. Johnson, I'm giving you factual information. I'm a journalist from Liberia, right? Mr. Johnson worked closely with Jetty during the establishment of Jetty in Wella. If I'm lying, Mr. Johnson should tell us that he was not commissioner of Wella at the time. And again, Mr. Johnson is currently a student of the Blue Crest University, and Mr. Johnson is being sponsored, like the way I'm being sponsored by Spoon Network, right? He's being sponsored by Jetty, confirmed.
Yes. Hold on, Mr. Johnson. Let me finish this question, please. Go ahead.
Okay. Mr. Johnson, Jetty called him my son due to the work he did during the establishment of Jetty in Wella, or during the establishment of the Jetty company, during his leadership. So the cover-up story, when people talk about cover-up story, that is the fine explanation Mr. Johnson and his team giving us about the preparation, why Jetty should maintain, other people should not be given the priority. If Mr. Johnson believes that Jetty is doing well and the government says, okay, an open market, is the government restricting people from going to do business with Jetty, or people will have their will to do business with whoever they want to do business with? That's my first question.
You know, it really behooves me to see our young brother who is pretty seated talking about other issues that is not under discussion, and Mr. Dwalu, you're giving me the time to flow. We came here specifically to discuss a particular issue. He asking me about being a student of the Blue Grass University. I think if you give him a chance, he'll be asking me which country I took my wife from and how many children I have. But I want to disabuse your mind. You have to be specific. You are a young man. There are a lot of people who are beyond the rubber, brokers.
No, Mr. Johnson, you don't have to question. You cannot be the commissioner and work with Jetty and establish Jetty Rubber Company and then come and advocate for Jetty to stay double dipping. Go ahead.
But let me say to you that we are not here to prioritize Mr. Jetty. The first thing I said, I spoke about fasting. I spoke about Lee Group, I spoke about LAC, I spoke about SRC, and I spoke about other companies. As a young man who have been seated, I don't know which of the country you're from, you're talking about Mr. Jetty. Let me say to you, you have to recalibrate your mind to think positively in the interest of your Liberian people. Being a commissioner doesn't dispute that the Liberian people interest should be looked at. Being a commissioner should not be the discussion tonight that the point we're pushing about the rubber brokers. If you are for the rubber brokers, come.
Because we feel that discussion.
I want to say to you, what is the name? I want to say to you,
you are not a rep messenger.
We prioritize the company because we want to see added value. As a student of as a student of economics, I want to say to you, there are few factors, there are few variables that we should look at in our economy. If Liberia is to move on, we need to firstly prioritize the economic system of our country.
Thank you. Okay, my second question.
A student of economy. You're talking about shaping your raw material for all of your country to take it in different countries to create jobs for different companies. Then you're talking about
Mr. Johnson,
a commissioner.
My second question is
you're going to come into.
No, my second question,
I want to say this to you, Mr. Roland Johnson. Every single claim that Good made, you did not address a single claim.
Because listen,
I don't want to
Good day. Let me just answer. Good day.
I don't want to lose my thought. No, I don't want to lose my thought.
Yeah, go ahead, Good day.
It's not a bad thing. You have every right to affiliate with Jetty. You're not addressing that. You're not addressing that Jetty is funding your education. You're not addressing those are all very important to this issue. If you're a neutral party, we expect you to be neutral all around. Not supporting somebody and want business to go with them because they are favoring you. That is a dangerous thing. I want you to comment 30 seconds and let Fadiga comment, Mr. Johnson.
Okay,
30 seconds, please.
Let me say to you, I'm 32 years now in this republic. I'm not a small boy for somebody to pay my school fees. For the young man in there to say somebody is funding my education. I'm yearning now for my second degree. Was Jetty around? I will say to you, no. I want to say to you, I want to disabuse your mind that Mr. Jetty is paying my school fees. But let me drive to the point. I serve as a commissioner. If you listen to, but should I come on this platform to lie? You do your hand at this? We are not here to hold and pull. I said, serving as a commissioner doesn't dispute or doesn't change the narrative that Liberian people interest should not be put first. We are discussing the unprocessed rubber from leaving the country or should be able to stay in this country. That is why we discuss it. We're discussing it moratorium.
Thank you.
Okay, so should I ask you which point from your way of speaking? I believe you are supporting brokers in this country.
Mr. Johnson, I'll give you 30 seconds, sir. Let's respect the time. So we are following up to my sister.
Also, I will not ask my second question. Mr. Dwalu, I'm not asking my second question. We're not hearing you.
We're not hearing you, Dwalu. We're not hearing you.
We cannot hear you.
Yeah, all right. Is it me?
Go ahead.
Even you ask a question. Good day.
I only ask one question.
Go ahead if you want. I want to say where you coming from. Good day. Even if you are not asked that question, my next question that I was so burning to ask, without knowing the gentleman, the first thing when he opened his mouth, I knew there was deception. Look, I pray for this country.
I have his entire profile with me.
Hold on. Good day. You even gotta go because I know you're gonna be combative. But I want to say this. There were specific questions that I asked Dwalu. And the reason that I asked, we so hate this country that few individuals will sell this country for little or nothing. You know where the first thing, look, I'm a therapist. I work with a lot of individuals and I understand how the human mind works. The first place I knew this gentleman was not saying the truth when he's tried to minimize his knowledge of Jeti. The moment he said an Indian and he looked in the air, roll his eye and say an Indian individual, I have to say nobody in the country, no, there is nobody in this country that doesn't know Jeti. The moment you try to create that a semblance of not knowing Jeti, I knew that you were lying. I knew straight that everything else you were saying was you were just saying all words, but I didn't know the connection. Good day, just put the icing on the cake because without knowing you, that was my follow-up question. That we have to be mindful. Look, value addition, you're talking two things. Look, 2 or 3 things can be true at the same time. Yes, value addition is the way to go. But where we want to give someone, not even monopoly, but oligopoly over in a market that we have controlled for years, Firestone for years, and now we are, I think, number 18 in the world when it comes to rubber. When the Ivory Coast, right near us, they went from cocoa, and now they're even producing more rubber than us. For people like you to come and sit down and say, oh yeah, let's give it to this Indian guy that mysteriously muffed up over the years and now want to take control of this something. And Liberians themselves can look. Brokers will always be available. There will always be broker. Except when you're trying to get rid of broker. There will
Let me
always
ask my
be.
final question.
Kude, 1 second. Let my brother Johnson respond.
All right.
No, I was just laying my people. So,
No, it was not a question.
You have made a point.
it was just,
You have made a point.
I was like Good
You have made
ask
a
because
point.
Good has already asked all the questions that I wanted to
Let me
ask.
say to you,
Good, go
Can
ahead.
I ask my
you are
question?
good at predicting. You said when you look in my face, you can predict somebody's mind. Sometimes you'll be wrong of what you will think of somebody. But let me say to you that your assertion,
Jeti, right? You know Jeti. You not call him a one Indian company.
Let us discuss the topic on the discussion. What will happen when I say to you when we appear before the House of Senate, there were senators that were supporting the ban, that the ban should be lifted. What will happen? What will happen if I say, Fatika, you in particular, you are supporting that the ban should be lifted? What will happen? What I want to say to you, we look at the ordinary Liberian. People who are painting rubber, people who make their rubber, they let us restaurant and play rubber. Maybe 2-3 tasks.
Dwalu, can I stop this gentleman? Because that is not my question, and I do not want you to waste the time answering the question that is not. Can you answer Good question? Do you have association with them?
Yes.
Don't give that other answer because that is not the question. I want to know of your relationship with Jeti. Yeah, I want to know your relationship with Jeti.
30 seconds. We will stick to the time and I'll come back because since Winifred has to come in. But let's give him another 30 seconds and get to the point, Mr. Johnson.
Yeah, let him answer that question.
You got 1 second. Let him just finish, please.
Yeah.
I want to ask my last question.
Mr. Fatika, let me say to you and my young brother in the place there, let me say to you that my affiliation, my travel line, marital status has nothing to do with the
It has.
It has to do. Then I mean, you are unqualified to be talking about rubber.
You want to leave the topic on the discussion. Let me say to you that we came here to speak specifically to the government of the Republic of Liberia that the moratorium should not be lifted.
Because we are advocating for justice.
The profile Fatika is still disturbing.
Let's not do this.
Fatika, you are still disturbing.
Let's maintain, Mr. Johnson. Yeah, this is my job. Mm-hmm. Guys, let's do this so we can go ahead. Everybody will ask their question. Mr. Johnson, you got to come to a point. Come to a point. You don't have to answer anybody any question, but you have to come to a point.
So this is the issue.
Another 10 seconds.
This is the issue, Mr. Dwalu, who has to be the moderator of this discussion. Let me say to you that specifically, all of what they are saying, it is alleged.
It is alleged. But I'm saying to you and to the Liberian people that we need to prioritize companies that have come to invest in our economy.
Thank you. Thank you.
Because they are adding value.
Thank you. Thank you,
to the
Mr.
finished
Johnson.
product.
Thank you. Good day. About the guy with a I want to just winning fair, guys. Good day. Can you wait 50 seconds? Go ahead,
Can
wait 50 seconds.
Can Gude ask his question?
Body guy, can we just wait a second? Let Good day finish. Good day. 50 seconds, man. Ask your question. Get to a point.
Okay. In every setting, in every organization, in terms of advocacy, when we are advocating for change, we need people who have no connection with those who are involved into the change that we want. Number one, we have established that Mr. Johnson was the commissioner of Wella when Jetty Company was established. We all know commissioners are people who work with those people. Okay. Secondly, I challenge Mr. Johnson. The apartment that Mr. Johnson is living in currently is owned by Jetty. If he says that I am lying, we have journalists in Spoon Studio. Let Mr. Johnson take that Spoon journalist with him to his house. It's Jetty's, one of his apartment complex in town. Is one of them that Mr. Johnson lives in. The cars that Mr. Johnson drives is for Jetty or was donated by Jetty to him. So my last comment is not a question. This is a good fight. Yeah, this is a good fight. But let Mr. Johnson step away and leave Winifred and others who are now conflicted to push this fight.
Thank you.
He's conflicted completely.
Okay, I agree, Mr. Gude. Let's give Mr. Johnson 30 seconds. We'll go to Sis Winifred. 30 seconds. Actual 30 seconds, Mr. Johnson. I want you to respond to the accusation.
You know, Mr. Dualo, it's like leaving the discussion. The discussion.
You have to say all this.
As in twatting to another discussion. We are twatting now.
Yes.
Because you're talking about car that are
30 seconds. 30 seconds to respond.
Let me say to you, Mr. Youngman.
And lastly, he does not have a farm. Let me direct you where his farm is.
I may not be familiar with your name, Mr. Youngman. But let me say to you that everything we do in this republic or in this world, God is the judge of everyone, right? I'm not just an ordinary young man. I'm a young man who worked with Siko in this country, from Rela to Banga. I own property. I get my own house. And I live right here now. To Effie, I rent my own place. Specifically, let me be bold to you. The car I'm riding was given to me by my friend.
Who?
From Nima County. They call him Amos. And I'll be specific. It's my personal friend. I did not buy the car. He gave it to me because it's my friend.
We want
so
his
if
name.
you come out to say Jetty bought me car or I live in a place, you're just trying to twat the topic on a discussion because we are making a point. But I will say to you that this cannot change the topic on a discussion. Let me be clear with you. The monitoring should remain in place. I don't care how accuses or what you will say on this topic. I will say to you that the monitoring should remain in place because it's helping the poor farmers. Number one, the reason why we are saying the monitoring should remain in place is because the bigger farms are taking loan from government and they are not helping the poor farmers. Number two, the monitoring is helping the poor farmers to protect their farms. There's no tax rate. So I want to say to you, if you come from the backdrop or the background of the ground broker, we will not go your route because I know how to stick to a topic.
Thank you.
We want to stick to this topic. Mr. Jetty has been doing your business in this country. He has been surviving. So Mr. Jetty don't have to pay my house rent before I leave.
Thank you. Thank you.
So your assumption about me is being wrong, Mr.
Thank
Youngman. You have to deviate from that.
Don't call me Mr. Youngman.
I want you to chime in.
Don't be so disrespectful to me. Don't call me Mr. Youngman. That's a disrespect. That's a disrespect, bro. Don't do it.
My name is Equitable.
For 32 years now, I'm 34. Meaning I'm older than you. You say you are 32 years old. Don't call me Mr. Youngman.
When your time is for you to say, you have to wait for the call. When they send you poor, then you're able to sell to Firestone. If they not send you poor, you have to wait for the other month for you to sell. And when you people can add Mr. Healing, he get my number there, I get ID card there for Firestone. So now the transportation will give me a hard time to take the rubber from Monkey be the play with air to carry Firestone, that will not more transportation. Because the time legal used to buy, they don't used to buy cash. Certain times can come, they will get money to buy cash. But certain time will come, they will give you the voucher, they will tell you, but before they weigh a rubber, they will ask you, are you willing to sell to us after a month or 2 months before you come for your money? Because there was no way for you to go sell. Your poor have not yet come to you and you want sell your rubber, you want sell pay legal, they will give you the voucher, which you will able to go sell to another business person, they will buy it by percentage. Sometimes they'll tell you 25%, sometimes they tell you 20%. Even self Bofera, I said about that before. They said they said that was 2 weeks. But after the 2 weeks, there was no money. They add another 1 week there. Stay before we could wait for that 1 week. The worker were not able to wait for you people. Unless you go as far as selling that voucher by percentage. But when the rubber processor be here in the country here, will be benefited because when the citizens are on job, the business will move. But when they be taking the rubber on process, they carry it, it will be hard for even sell the business people. As for me, I do both. A business person at the same time are doing the rubber business. When the people are on job, they were able to buy from you people. But if no job, it will be hard for you with the business people, especially with on the highway. Sometimes you live in a business, you have dream and all before one customer say papa. But when one and the other, when people in on job, they were able to buy from you people. And you will trust the person because they're on job. When somebody on job, you're able to trust them with your business because somebody can come to you say, please credit me 1 morning. First of all, you ask the person where you working.
Okay.
When they show the place before you're able to credit them. So, and the criminal rate was very high the time the people used to buy the rubber. Because sometimes when you go, they will clear all the small couple of under the rubber tree, they will carry it. When you go now, you wait the whole month, you can't even say they have them.
Thank you, Mama. Thank you, Fatima. Welcome to the show, Mama. Also, the thing I want to ask you, guys, will ask one question to our sister. That what thing you really want tell the president to do that the reason when you come in the studio, what do you want to tell him?
I want for the president to please remove the rubber ban to remove. Let the rubber be processed in Liberia here, so our brother and sister then can be able to get a job.
Okay. I'll say one question. I just ask one question, go around the horn so the guests can leave.
My time?
So, do I go?
Let me go ahead briefly, Ava, because
Go ahead,
I'm doing two things. I'm doing two things at the same time.
I can tell.
Yeah, but when I was coming on the first time, I was listening to Fadiga. I mean, this is not just restricted to Fadiga. Every time we call in the country, oh, we don't have foreign direct investment. I mean, we are running the country for 6 years, no foreign direct investment. When they have foreign direct investment, then we say, oh, but why Liberians are not benefiting? There are Liberian owned processor in Liberia. Nima Rubber is owned by Harrison County. The government invested through NASCOP. So this is our own. They invested into Nima Rubber to process rubber. Don't want to go into all the challenges they face to bringing them to where they are today. The issue about rubber processing, export, and the benefits is not about Liberian and not Liberian. That's not the debate. Because almost all the other companies, the Lee Group, the Salala, the Nima, they are all owned and operated by Liberians.
So it's not about Liberian and not Liberian. Every time we try to put up an attitude of being xenophobic, as soon as we hear foreign name, then we jittery. It's not fair. Because people are working on bringing foreign companies to Liberia, especially in the rubber sector. But when we sit on major platform and present a picture as if it's a taboo, it's a crime for foreigners to invest in our country, then there's a problem. What we should be pushing for is how do we get our government, our legislators, our commissioners, and other people to ensure that the investment benefit the people, not at the expense of the people. That's what we should be pushing for. But not to say as soon as you hear the need of foreign, then there's a problem. I just wanted to put that out on the limited time I have. Stealing rubber has been a major issue, and it's not just about stealing the rubber. Liberia is a signatory to international protocols on ensuring traceability of rubber, where it is processed, where it is harvested, how it is grown, who are those participating in the production process. When middlemen just go and take rubber from the side of the road and carry it to Freeport and sell it, they're not tracing that process. So we support the moratorium clearly. And I've asked a question, I will land on this. He said, what's the middle ground? There are two solutions. Maintain the moratorium, protect the interests of the farmers, and ensure that they get fair price for their commodities. That's the solution. Protect farmers' interests, ensure they get fair price for their commodities, and maintain the moratorium to ensure that unprocessed rubber is not taken out of the country. Jobs are created, taxes are paid. If people are not paying taxes, that's the solution I have to your question. Protect farmer interests to get fair price, maintain the moratorium so that rubber is processed, jobs are created, government taxes are paid.
Azib, you got a question for our sister, Mr. Johnson here?
Yes. Welcome to the show. I just want her, if you see the future, most likely your children will probably come along with you in the same profession. But how do you see a better future for young people in terms of how this sector can impact them and make a difference for them? They are because I didn't live in Firestone, but I know a lot of people who are in the Firestone area. And as bad as the conditions were, the fundamental they learned in school for most of those people from Firestone, they were way ahead of most of the other students in most part of Liberia. When they came to any school, they look at the Firestone children as extremely smart. So I don't know how far that spread across the rubber sector, but for your children, for the young people today, how do you see them being able to benefit from rubber or from the concession people or from any aspect of rubber to be successful?
The young people future.
You low.
Can I answer that? Is that right?
Yeah, you can answer that. So.
All right. Thank you. Let me say to you, the chief, that not because you see your stepmother, so you want to forget about your real mother who have been there for you over the years. Firestone has been the one to uphold the fabric of rubber in this country. And Firestone have been the one to provide education for tappers children, people who work for them, their children. And some of them are in the United States and in other countries today. So we cannot be the one to discredit Firestone because we sit on this platform. So what we will do to you, or what we'll say to you tonight, is that we encourage every rubber institution, specifically companies that have come in this country, to emulate or to be more than fast to do more for our Liberian people. Because our interest is not about who buy rubber or who sell rubber. Our interest is the Liberian people. People who come in this country to invest, they brought money to invest and they create jobs. They should be able to look at the social benefits for the citizen and should be able to do more for the Liberian people. So if you ask for the benefit, I will say to you that the little ones Fashion have done, we will appeal to them to do more. Fashion should be able to build university. Jetty Rubber should be able to invest in education. The league should be able to invest in education. It's in water sanitation. LAC should be able to do the same. But all start with the government to regulate the activities of the companies. That is their social corporate responsibility. They should be able to do that. So we want to say to you, the benefit for fasting is vivid. It's something that you can see, you can touch. When it comes to, because I'm from Magibi, when it comes to Magibi, it comes to Lee Group is doing some. Lee Group is paying the employees' children's school fees. They give it to them. When it comes to LAC, I believe they are doing the same thing. When it comes to Jetty is just establishing. What we need to do is to check on the government. They should be able to invest in the employees. They should be able to invest in the employees' life to improve it, to do more, so that our Liberian people will be able to live a better life.
Thank you.
So
thank you. Sis Fatima, I'm going to skip the guys for a second. Sis Fatima, to come and ask a question. We're almost out of time for these guys.
Hi, Tuadu, and the rest of the panelists. Can you guys hear me? I'm actually in Atlanta, Georgia, with the president, and I just saw my sister.
Hey, go with that, yeah.
I just saw my sister on set, and I wanted to respond to her. That's why I jumped in. We were sitting with the president, and the foreign minister was explaining something to the audience, and she said that the president met with some business people, and they were talking about what they've been doing in Liberia, how they got these companies, and the president was revisiting all of their policies and the concessions. And the president said to them, "What have you guys done for Liberians? You have been in the country for X and X years. What have you guys done for Bumi?" And they brought some paper and showed it to the president. And the president said, "Listen, going to Bumi, the roads are so bad. You living there, you taking our people resources, you taking everything from our people, and you are doing nothing for them. We are going to revisit all of these agreements, and we are going to make sure it benefits our people first." So I came on to tell you, my sister, it's a new day in Liberia. The president has made a commitment. Our sister, the president said, I can't tell you that anybody who's in the country selling rubber, taking it from our poor people, selling it overseas, and our people not benefiting. He said he will look at it and they will do it all over. Liberian people will be first in their country. Liberian people will make sure that Liberian people are the first people that will make sure like they will expand our country, where the private sector, our people themselves will start employing their own people. Our people will start benefiting. He said he been hearing a lot from all of us Liberian people here were telling him how they want to go back to their country and invest. They want to do something for our country, but he said it starts with all of us. We need to speak when we see injustice done to one person. We need to speak, and our president is willing to listen, and he's willing to make changes. He said we should be patient. He just called me. He said, that's why I ran on to come and talk to Spoon. He's still here. He just finished speaking. I wanted to tell him, he said we should be patient, but he's working for the Liberian people. He's looking to make sure Liberians are in charge of their own country. He's making to make sure not foreigners coming from other people to come and take for us. And he said one last example before I go. He said, when he said if the people came to all these countries, took everything that they wanted, but who was there to build the country? It was ourselves. So in his government, he's going to make sure that we, the Liberian people, are first. He didn't come It's not because he wanted to become president. It's because of leadership. He wanted to leave a legacy behind where he said that Liberian people are join our people to make our country better. So my sister, it's a new day. That's why I came to tell you. Thank you so much, Joadu, for giving me the opportunity to express that to the Liberian people. And I gotta go because we are going now. I just wanted to let you know that it's a new day in Liberia. We are very happy.
Are you going to dinner with the president? You going to
We
dinner with the
just did.
president?
We went to Georgia Tech, and I'm telling you the amount of scholarships that the president got for the Liberian people today. The amount of scholarship Georgia Tech is going to do student exchange. Georgia Tech is going to. They talk about marine biologists giving us scholarship. I mean, we went to dinner it was a great exchange. You got to see the things that they are offering our Liberian people. They are going to have student exchanges. Some of the faculty is going to come from here to go and teach to the University of Liberia. Yes, it's a big deal. He got so much accomplished
Wonderful.
today. So I just wanted to let you know.
Hopefully, when they come back, there will be somebody in the president camp who will articulate all of this in a package like you're trying to do. We appreciate that.
Okay, yeah. It's a
Thank
great.
you.
I
you
was
want to
amazed.
respond
Thank you
to
so
that?
much.
Thank you so much, sister.
Yeah,
That is
thank
why
you,
we're calling
sister.
for
Don't
JMB.
lose hope on
We
my
can't
sister.
rescue her.
I will work for you.
Because we really
Very
suffer
proud of her.
from
Thank you.
2017. We thank God
Thank
so
you.
much that today He can rescue her. He come to our aid. We thank God.
He
Thank
will.
you. That
He
message
will.
you giving me, my heart satisfied. Thank
Thank you,
God.
Mama.
Thank
Thank
you
you
so
so
much.
much. Darling, you know I got mad
So,
love for you.
Your
And
comment.
our viewers,
Mark
yeah, I love
Wilfred,
our viewers.
All right, let me
Fatima,
say
you
thank
Bye-bye.
the
you
first
to
smile,
Fatika,
the
right?
first smile I see on
Fatika
Wilfred face
and
so far. So you did
all of
well
Oh
our
right there.
yeah,
fellow
my
You put
sister, the
Christians.
smile on.
president. As soon as I heard his
We
speech,
want
I
to
heard
say
you
to
talking. I
you
said, I
that
gotta come tell you what the president
Liberia
said.
is all we
Thank you.
have. It's not about where you come from, which party you're from, or how you've been working in this country. The Liberian people interest come first. So I want to say to all my Liberian brothers and sisters that the moratorium that is being placed, this is not fun. It is really helping the poor farmers. We want the moratorium to remain in place. We want to say thank you to the Spoon family. They are the voice of the voiceless. Even among brothers sitting in studio there, you have been one of the person that appear on this network, provide information for our people. So we say thank you to you, despite our little hole and pool. But we want to say that our interest is Liberia. If we start going after people based upon where they want, Liberia will not move forward. Because we all got trash. We all got dirt. You can throw dirt at me. Now we want to throw dirt at you. So I want to say to you, let us look at the interests of the Liberian people. Let the moratorium remain in place. And we know that President Boakai has the wisdom. He came from the agriculture background. I want to say thank you to the agriculture minister who sat in this particular seat to provide information to our people. To our rubber broker, we want to say to you, we don't hate you. But there are a lot of factors that surround you. You send people on the various farms to steal from our people, to steal from us. And then when we say our rubber to you, you take 25%. You deduct the GOL tax, the government of Liberia tax 4%. You don't give it to the government of Liberia. You the RDF, the $2.93, you don't give it to the Liberian government. So where the money is going, I want Fatika and other people to join me or to join our organization for all the asking people, because the people have been taking money from us over the years. Where the money go? So if you see who are them, my brother, you just look at Roland Johnson. This is not for Roland Johnson. This is about Liberia. The money the people are taking, the money should have built a road or build hospital, build school. So let them come and give the money to the Liberian government. So let me say to you, Mr. Dwalu, the way you moderate the show, I want to say thank you. Your brother, your name? Your Nelson, I want to say thank you. Mr. Dwalu, thank you. You are a real professor. And I want to say, our being in here is that let the government of Liberia regulate the price of rubber, not the company that buy the rubber, not rubber broker. And let
the monitoring remain in place.
Thank you.
Thank
Marco,
thank you.
Yes.
you. Try your own so you can finish here.
Thank you so much. You people, I thank God for you people to accept up this in the Thank you. And they rubber business. We're too happy. We're too happy for the ban to release because it provides job for our people. And even said the investor that come in Magidi country, we is that Indian man where and they were accusing the brother for. That man, he not bad pressing. Because when we go sell rubber, we can see by 4 o'clock the children can come from the community. You know, everyone is hard. As the brother was talking first, when we pour our people then in position, they only there for their set and the family. They not care for the poor. Who says some people able to afford even say 100 liberty by day too, or even say feed their children with virus? Things are hard. If things were not coming behind, you could not see those children then will go sell rubber. You will see the children coming from I go 4 o'clock ready to go stand on land to be such a thick factory for them to eat every blessed day. When we go, we can ask them, say, your mother, they say, the people can feel here every day on that for voting day, they not feel, but they can feel every day. He tell me he provide water, TV era to the junction them. People can be going their card and stuff, they go draw water, they wipe their card and they go draw water, they table, all that one at least. Citizens are benefiting. Don't invest on them when they come in the country. The citizens, with the citizens, then we can benefit. They will not have open company here that they will put so of the work people over there. The liberal people are benefiting. We the business people too will benefit. Because we're not working, but when they go work, they come back from what that somebody benefit. So we thank God so much. Let our president please remain. Let the bank to please remain because it's not easy. It's not very easy. It's not very easy.
Thank you,
Okay, Mr.
Thank you
Dwalo.
for coming.
Thank God.
It was a
Dwalo.
great night. Nelson, I'll still leave. Let him talk a little bit more. Good day.
Yeah.
The guest will leave, and I'll get to you, sir.
No, I wanted to just
Thank you
tell
so
the
much
brother
for coming on
something
the
before he
show.
leaves.
And let me go to Mr. Johnson. Everybody, man, couple, you're thinking plenty. Good day. You got a comment, sir?
Yeah, I wanted to tell Johnson something before he leaves. Can I talk to him?
Your mute your good day, or Nelson got to up your volume.
Moses company document.
You got me?
You got me.
Dwalo, you getting me? Hello?
Dwalo, we're not hearing you.
Go
You are
ahead,
muted.
James.
Could they no data?
No, I have data. I beg you. I used to okay, you know, right? I wanted for Mr. Johnson to be on here. Let's be fair. I did political reporting in Liberia before leaving. Meaning, I know covert when it comes to covert operations in Liberia, where politicians or institutions will program people to come and speak, right? I know how it is like. You see the woman who just left, our mother, she's a mother to me. I can tell you for sure, she was programmed to appear on the show. She was programmed to appear on the show, and she could not maintain it because they did not do the programming well. She had to confirm it in her any speech, where she talked about Jetty goodness, providing food for people, doing this, doing that. Like I said, the brother who just left, since he denied everything, I will personally take initiative to battle it so the public can be informed about Johnson. Johnson, the call is a good call, but let Johnson resign. Let Johnson leave. The other people, let them do the fight. He step aside. Johnson is living in Jetty apartment, right, in Sinko. Jetty paid this guy school fees in Blue Crest. This guy worked with Jetty in Wella when he was commissioner to establish Jetty. So what this guy coming to tell us, anything he's telling us, they are all cover stories. Cover stories are stories that you say to make people believe something, to twist it. He came out with huge allegations against the brokers, where he said they carry on corruption, they are stealing. He's confirming by himself without any investigation that these people are stealing from government's cover and they are not paying. But he's living in Jetty's pocket. The vehicle he drives now, he confirmed that the car was donated to him by a friend in Nimba, but he could not name the friend. He could not give the full name of the friend. So let Johnson step aside, let other people take the fight and talk to government if government will listen. But no serious government in the world will listen to a Johnson who is being fully sponsored by Jetty to preach the battle. I think Mohammed is good to take that battle and other people, but not Johnson. Government should not listen to him.
Not even Mame.
Thank you, Fadiga.
No, Mame, yeah, Mame is good.
Thank you. Good day. Thank you so much, Fadiga.
Dwalu, good day. If you were here, I'll put you on my back. The meaning that gentleman opened his mouth. Look, there is a philosophy that believes that two things can be true. Yes, sending unprocessed rubber out of the country is a bad idea. Adding value to it can be true. What can also be true is that there are people in Liberia that will sell their country for little or nothing. They will do everything and pretend that has bad concession after another are created for our people, and then they have to fight until the protests are breaking down, then they go and change things. Let me tell you something. There needs to be more activities that are stipulated for Liberian only. That's the only way Liberia will benefit. Look, I see a very huge influence of Jetty in Liberia. None that is a bad thing for people to invest. I hear mommy saying, oh yeah, the story is not bad totally. Yeah. The farmers been around for long. But there is more to the story that we do not know. While it is true that value addition is good, we have to be mindful. The same way they give steel monopoly to one group of people to import steel, and then they control the prices of steel on the market. The same thing we are seeing again with rubber. People should have an open market to sell it, whatever, process it, whatever. But when you give monopoly to a small group of people that already have the cash,
Who they
when
give
eventually
monopoly to?
well, let me tell you now. It's slowly heading to that thing. And mommy, I will say this. You also not a good messenger. And I want to end by asking you one question for you to be public and tell your relationship with Jetty. Because I also know that you have a relationship with Jetty. So that means you are not, so you will have to explain it, but I will ask you that question, and that's the only question I will ask before I leave here today. So we got a parity on the table.
Let me answer the question. I come to leave
Mommy,
anyway.
what is your relationship to Jetty? Specifically, Jetty wife. What is your relationship? Do you know the reason I'm saying this thing? Look, I'm getting concerned about Jetty in this country. He has not been on my radar. Despite everything, we see this Indian guy that feeding people and standing out there. But it's not that it's wrong for people to be powerful. But when people get so powerful and have so much influence to the point that they control everything in the country, then it becomes a problem. And it is slowly becoming a problem. In our rubber planter, the farmers were enslaved themselves to these same people. It will be another form of colonialism in the rubber sector. They have to be very mindful with these people. This Johnson guy, he's very deceptive. So, mommy, I question your independence in this process. Can you please tell your relationship with Jetty?
No, I'm not an independent person. I've said it here before. I've taken a position that I support the moratorium. I'm not independent. I'm working. Wait for me, Fadiga. I'm not one of those people who come and put. When I've taken an independent position where I don't have interest, I say it. I have vested interest in the rubber sector. I'm working specifically to bring investment in the rubber sector, exactly what it's doing to be processing rubber. I'm clear. I've said that here over and over and again. Excuse me. I'm telling you my interest. I've said that here over and over and again. And I am saying bring the argument that justify why a country should export unprocessed rubber. Tell me
No, that's
why.
not my
Tell me,
argument.
wait for me.
My question was,
Excuse me, wait
what
for
is
me.
your relationship to
Excuse
Jetty?
me, wait for me. I'm telling you, I have vested interest. I've explained my interest. I am telling you, put my interest aside. You too have an interest. Probably your interest is with the brokers, or your interest is with Abachie, or your interest is with Jeremiah Kuhn, or your interest with all the big people who selling unprocessed rubber. There are a lot of big politicians selling unprocessed rubber. There's no crime. That's business. It's fair to do it. From the top of the executive mansion to down to the lower house of representatives, politicians are selling unprocessed rubber. They've been into it for 10, 15, 20 years. No crime. That's fair business. I am saying, convince me, forget about your interest, whether you support broker or not. Convince Liberia, convince the government on what benefit it brings to a country to sell unprocessed rubber, what benefit it brings to the country when you're selling unprocessed rubber, and in most cases, you're not paying your taxes. The brokers appear before the Senate. They ask them, are you remitting the 4% and the money you're taking from farmers? They say, yes. They say, bring a receipt to show that you pay to LRE. They are taking more than 2 months. They cannot provide. So the point I'm making is, yes, we make the argument that it is important to put a moratorium and to protect the interests of farmers. The brokers are saying they want to open rubber processing plant in the next 6 months. They will be doing so. When they open that rubber processing plant, would they support the export on processed rubber after they open that rubber processing plant? They announced it on the show. They say in the next 6 months to
more
1 year,
Liberians become wealthy.
are coming. But here's the question I'm asking. They are saying they're opening a rubber processing plant in 6 months to 1 year. My question is, if you open it, you expect them to export and process rubber? You'll be happy for them to be exporting and processing rubber when you have a rubber processing plant?
The problem is you are giving Liberian an opportunity. My qualm here is,
But there
how
is
do we
nobody
protect these
stopping
people that will
Liberian.
all right said the story? But you still have that answer my question. What is your relationship with Jetty?
Well, can I come in? He's not answering.
My man, you going to come out. You are...
Can I come?
No.
All right.
It wouldn't fair for Mame to answer the question. Why you run
My man
away?
need to answer the question. He needs to be fair to the Liberian people here. Jetty would not purchase Liberia.
So no, if Mame has a relationship with Jetty, then he himself is not independent. And then he pretending to be independent. He can't just have more talk here, and he got some kind of relationship with Jetty. That's not correct. So look, for me, I don't feel, yes, the brokers may not have been straight, based on the accusation against them. I don't know. For me, I like to see the numbers. You're showing me the numbers. You're showing me the prices. You're showing me these people are buying from the farmers for. You're showing me the engagement with all the different farmers that they feel this direction. Not only the leadership who could be in somebody's pocket, but the local farmers themselves. Are they benefiting? Not one or two. Do a survey where you look at 2,000, 3,000 farmers, and they're saying, yes, these people then it's better for us to just sell the unprocessed rubber to the people then, rather than ship it out. Because in a free market, you can do both. You can process domestically and you can export. So if we're talking free market, then we got to let the free market operate. At the same time, the brokers got to be held accountable. Are they paying government taxes? Are they collecting this money from these people? So for me, I want a system. Look, Fatima, you confusing. What can I mean? Just smiling with what else? Anyway,
the thing is so easy. It's so easy to regulate the thing. If the people not paying tax, look, I hate to hear people say the other person he paid tax, road phone. I'm telling you, in this day and age, when we got POS in Liberia, why we still play?
No,
government don't want to conduct revenue.
Trust me,
So I don't even blame nobody. I even let her listen to that argument.
Most Liberians do not pay taxes.
I agree, because government do not have not created
in every which way. Okay, even the people who rich.
You think we want to pay tax in America?
Local land. $5 million.
Ava,
That's all we collect on land taxes.
Ava, do you think we want to pay taxes in America? No, but the people have
But you
a way
got to
of
build a
taking it for you.
system. You got to build a system.
Let us build
That's
a
what we need to
system.
do.
And you know,
Okay,
I'm
I
not
agree with
saying
you.
that carry
Yeah.
on
So
processed rubber
can
oil is a bad thing.
can I just come in shortly,
Oh, come
sir?
in, sir.
So
Come in.
Come in long,
yeah.
Nelson. Come in long.
So the CEO could not be here. We understand he hurt his leg, but he will be here tomorrow. But until then, we have up until 7. I think 7 o'clock is gonna be like 11 p.m. Liberian time. So he asked that Mr.
Nelson is like,
Fadiga
yo, get the hell
still
off this show.
moderating the show, the absence of Mr. Dwalu, who just left studio. So I'm turning controls over to you, sir.
Oh man, now I got power for one day. What else for one day? I was carrying
Jesus
one
Christ,
dictatorship.
they get
Full
it. They
fledged
get
dictatorship.
power.
Who can get dictator power?
Hey, that young man crying. No, but Ava, to be frank, here's the thing. Look, a lot of mysterious things happen here. If you look at what happened with all the concession, back concession and things, few individuals. I knew that this gentleman was, but look, even if Good Day had not mentioned that thing, you know, the first place that drew the red flag for anybody in Liberia to say you are part of the hierarchy or something and pretend as if to say you do not know Jetty, that the first red flag or want something, and then he raised an eyeball and look up as if to say he had no idea, and then they want in the company and something. I knew he was lying. Look, like I said, when I say two things can be true, is this. Yes, we know that value addition is important. But also, if we give these people that already have the cash, that have the capability of purchasing the market, sooner or later, these same people will start crying when this guy, when military justice will not detect the price. He will. So the thing here is, at what point, if we want to create Liberian millionaires, at what point do we encourage Liberians, empower Liberians in it? Firestone since 1926 have dominated our rubber market even around the world. How many Liberians became wealthy? And now we're going to give it to another foreign national who's going to be the only person for a long time processing rubber. If the broker said they can do it, let them give it the opportunity. I don't think we just listen to one side of the story. Small group of people here, oh, you know what? With a small rubber planter, and this is hurt here. Have we spoken to the big rubber planter? Have we spoken to the broker? Have we gotten all sides of the story? And I listened to that mother that was in studio. She seemed like she was brainwashed. She was cursed. Look, when Liberian men get hungry, the first thing we eat is our integrity. I'm sorry to say, I love my people, but we need to stop selling our soul to anybody that puts something in our tummy. This country is too great. We've been around too long that when as soon as someone gives you food now, then you're ready to ask to fight for that person. You deserve to be on the table.
I mean,
So
you the
I just know what is
moderator.
left for Liberia. I have no feet. So go ahead, Fatima.
CEO just
Go ahead, my
called me
sister.
just now. He wanted me to make some announcements. And also, I just, when I make CEO was trying to go somewhere. He had an appointment and he actually hit his leg and he's in the hospital
I
right
think
now.
that domo he ate. I don't know whether you're
Whatever
going to
he
that
was
domo
doing,
already.
he is currently in the hospital and he was not able to come on. I think he said they said he need a brace for his foot right now because he fell. The second thing is he said hopefully it's not any sprain or break. He said if all goes well today, tomorrow it will be one-on-one with Kiatama and Dylan. Tomorrow's show will be one-on-one with Kiatama and Dylan. Let me also address the little
Wait, Kiatama coming on again?
Kiatama and Dylan, straight from the
Kiatama will be
CEO's mouth.
the interview.
That's how I was kicked out because the CEO contacted me to just make the announcement. The second thing is I just think that Jetty thing. I've heard a lot. I've been researching about Jetty. I don't think anybody's in Jetty's pocket. I don't think Mame has any relationship with Jetty. Jetty has done a lot of good things in the Liberian community. If they have,
Fatima,
let me tell you, the
Fatima,
president. No,
my
I will
sister.
come back. Yeah.
But don't
Let
interrupt her.
mommy
Can
answer
I
that
just
question. I'm
see?
begging you.
Don't
All right,
Don't
interrupt
put your
no,
her.
I
name on
think you
Chappy board. They
address
will call
it.
it.
You address it, but all I'm saying, I don't think Anybody is in Jetty's pocket or he's in anyone's pocket. The president just today, what gave me so much hope. You see me jump on. I'm actually in a hotel here. I think you see. The thing that gave me so much hope. People came here to see the president today, wanted to sign contracts. I think you're Sarah Mittal, all the people that are in Liberia trying to do their contracts or something. And the president actually asked them, what is in it for Liberia? All these mining companies going to the road, the places you go to mine. What is it benefiting our country? We are going to look at. He took the paper and threw it on them and said, we need to see what, like he said,
Hey,
and he
God, don't
said
say
something
our
to the.
president was rude. Don't say
He,
our
I don't,
president
no,
was
he
rude,
was not
please.
rude. He was not rude. The mayor put something in front of him and said, "This is how much we pay." And he asked him, "What are you guys getting out of it? What are you guys getting out of it?" And they were making more money than they gave into Liberia. So don't tell me, say I said the president was rude. That's your word. The president just stood up for Liberia and Liberia and Liberians. And the second thing I wanted us to be aware of is this president said something today in his meeting at Georgia Tech. He said to the people, he said, it was not about me becoming president. It was about leadership, to lead our people and make them to understand that they are part and parcel of their economy. They have a voice in their own country and they can work together with me to move their country forward. Okay? Our president today, I was proud to be a Liberian. He at that college today, he articulated the views of the Liberian people, which included me, because I came here yesterday with all kinds of questions. I to come and ask this president. I sat down before we went to Georgia Tech, before we got on the bus with him to go to Georgia Tech. And when I sat down one on one with him, and the president said, "I want you to tell the whole entire Spoon family thank you. I want you to tell everybody thank you. But I want you to also understand, we did not know what we inherited. On the surface, everything looked good. The country is really bad." He said, "But you know what? It's now time for us to govern. We're trying to do it, but Spoon needs to give us a break, because you need to understand that what we inherited, I cannot even, he said sometimes it gives me sleepless nights. But all I'm saying, with the kind of things that I'm getting from Liberians all over the world, the way they love their country and the way they want to move their country forward, I encourage you to join forces with me so we can move the private sector forward. Make sure Liberians, our people, are in charge of their own economy. Any investor come first, will choose Liberian investors first in our country. Any investor, foreign investor, comes to our country, I will make sure that they are there for and they are benefiting our Liberian people first. That's what the president said today. And so I was impressed by him. That's why you see me, after his speech, I just ran over there and came and joined Spoon to make our people aware our president is fighting for you. He's only trying to leave a legacy behind. He said, the good thing about me, I'm not fighting for no second term. I'm fighting to make a statement, a bold statement, to say that, you know what? Like he said, let all this what they call it, appointment shenanigans go aside. Real governing and real sleeves are going to be rolled over, and Liberians will take charge of their country and will make sure we move our country forward. Our people, I beg you, y'all give this president an opportunity. This man truly loves his country. I sat down with Joseph. I got 20 minutes this morning. At 10 o'clock, I got here and met him, and we sat and we spoke. And I followed him all the way to Georgia Tech. And now the whole entire Georgia community were in the town hall meeting with him. They just honored him, and he was in the town hall. After he spoke, I came to join Spoon, just to tell you the good news. All is not lost. We are proud people. Our people love their country. Our people are willing to work. And Georgia Tech gives so many scholarships to our president. Said he have 10,000 students. Like the people offer, I don't know how many thousand students. They said more than 10,000. They even want to come to our university and we do professor exchange programs. Their professors will go to the University of Liberia and Continental University to enhance it. They talk about marine biology. I'm not a marine biologist, but they talk about what they want to do in marine biology to boost our marine life.
Because
So
the blue economy is rising, and they
yeah,
need to
they were
come
talking
play
about
in
that.
our waters. So it makes sense for them to come, so they come and teach as well. Look,
Well,
nothing free. That one thing we gotta learn. Nothing
No,
free.
no
nothing for
problem. But
nothing.
all I'm
They are not
saying,
coming because
So we
they
just
love
yeah.
hold
you.
on 1 second, and Fatima, you're not talking 5 minutes now. Don't be
I'm
defensive.
talking
I'm
about family.
just
You have
providing
to take
input.
for long. Like, oh,
I was not here for
CEO said
long.
he's sick. All right, CEO said I'm gonna just tell you also that he's sick. His foot hurting. He right now trying to see if they'll put brace on it or if they'll put a cast. He don't know if it's broken
And the
or
man said he was in the military before. He crying for a little small foot. Let the man
He
wait,
said I
man.
should tell
Not
you,
here
you
for
must
that.
please pray for him. He's asking the
We praying
viewers,
for him.
all
He
the
left
lovers
one
of the
president. We
show to
praying for
pray
him.
for him. He was singing, even in fact, he was singing one, I don't know, he said, one day at a time. He would take it one day at a time. He was singing his song, say, I'm going to give it to the viewers. For all in all, you thank you. And God bless you. I won't go back to see my person. You know how I love you, Joseph Bakame. I swear
Bye,
I love you
Fatima.
so
Let me
much.
cancel it
I
for you
All right,
small.
swear.
bye bye.
Go,
Thank
go.
you.
Your Baba.
Bye.
Nelson, I love you. Your
Love you,
cousin.
cousin.
All
All
right.
right, so
Good day. Don't feel bad. I love you
So,
too. Bye. My viewers, I love you so much. Mwah, mwah, mwah to the viewers. Yeah, bye.
yeah, so just to
Yeah, we.
before we conclude, right? Let's be fair. I don't have nothing against Jetty or whoever. The fight that the guys are in is a good fight, and everyone should be given the free space to fight and push their messages. To push their messages. I'm sorry. If the brokers associations are successful, that's it. If those who say the ban should remain, if they are successful, that's it. But I'm against double dipping. Even our government, we have laws in Liberia that when you are serving one arm of government, you cannot work in the other side and also get money. I think it was a miscalculation for the team that appeared here to come and speak. That is to have Johnson as the lead presenter. Let's be fair. This is not about getting image for somebody. You cannot be preaching integrity when you are not like this. Johnson should have just step aside. What's the other guy named Holmes and the lady and other people to keep sending this message out or their messages out. We know for a fact that the Jetty Rubber Company is in Margibi County. We also have reliable information that this company is owned by both Emmanuel Nukwe and Jetty. Yes, that's information that we get. I'm telling you, if people are listening, they should tell Johnson to step aside. Johnson should not be talking about this fight. I'm coming, bro.
Again, James, you don't
Let
want
me
to
just
make this
conclude.
appear like a personal thing with Johnson.
No, it was not a personal
I
thing
think
with
it should be more about the issue now.
No, I'm
Because
coming, bro. Johnson came on to preach for integrity. He talking about this, but John, bro, I don't want to talk about it. Let's forget about it. But I'm advising Johnson if he's listening, let him just forget about this. Let other people talk because even many information on Johnson about Jetty issue, let him just forget it. Even his wife currently cooking for Jetty. His wife is cooking for Jetty.
look, James. Thank you.
Yeah. Then what you want to tell us?
no,
I
but
think we
hold
need
up
to
now.
close
That's
now
information that
because
should be
we're out
shared.
of time.
No, Nelson.
They are very
Nelson, that
important.
information to be shared. We can discuss it another time because you got a show, but you can tell a man to not say some of the things that may make somebody compromise and be supporting Jetty position regardless of how it impact other people. There are people who exist and depends on this. For me, I want a win-win situation. I want our brands to benefit, not just for one person.
Yeah, it should be a benefit for everyone. I think let him forget it. Let him forget it. I'm calling on his team. Let them put Johnson in the back. Johnson can do the presentation, give it to people to go and present. He should not be the one speaking because his hands are not clean. His hands are not clean. Let him step aside and allow other people to speak. Many things. When I saw him on the show and I just had to do some quick things and I'm sorry, man. I see you all when I see you again.
Yeah, y'all have a good weekend, man. Y'all take care. Peace.
Yeah. Boss.
Okay,
Hello?
yeah, sorry. So I think that's how we like to end up for today, James. And
Yes. So, boss man, we're going on. Liberia, my man. We need mentor training as well in Liberia. So, when people come into position, when people in positions, right, and you want to critique them, if the position is an integrity position, you're looking at what they did in the past, coming there, whether their hands are clean. People say you personalize. That's the kind of society we're in. You criticize somebody, they say you are enemy of progress. So I see you, brother.
Yeah, you're right, James. And yeah, so at the end of the day, we look forward to all the best for our country. They'll always I may be back.
The
You
show.
it's your we're going
It's your
now.
feeling. Okay, mommy, you are on. You are on our phone. Please tell the team. Mommy. Please tell the team. Let them put your mention.
Which team?
I
Come on,
mean, you are
James.
talking in the interest of them. You are not on their team, brother. I'm sorry. You are talking about the ban remaining in place, and Johnson is talking about the ban remaining in place, meaning both of you have common denominator. So I'm saying Johnson should not be
Okay.
the one to be
So so James,
talking.
on a
Yeah,
serious note, we have to go.
yeah,
The
go.
CEO is on my back, and
I just
we
told
have to shut
he
down.
can talk to his guys.
Yeah,
Okay, no problem.
yeah. So, Mame, thank you for being back. Thanks for coming back. We appreciate you. I know you've been in and out, a lot going on in the background.
Yo,
Yes, but I think it's been a great show today. We wish uh, the CEO a former, let's say the CEO a speedy recovery. And yeah, so that's how we like to draw down the curtains on the show today. Till we come back again. Have a good night, everyone. Thanks to all of our wonderful viewers across the internet, Facebook, YouTube, and as I've always said, please try to catch us online. If you're following us on Facebook, make sure to follow all of the three handles. Go to Fabric TV, follow it. If you're following Spoon TV, you're not following Fabric TV. Follow Fabric TV and Super TV. If you're following Fabric TV, you're not following Super and Spoon. Go and follow the two other social media handles. If you're on Facebook and you're on YouTube and you're not following us on YouTube, try to follow the YouTube handle. We're there. Spoon Talk Live is our YouTube handle. And we want to say thanks to all of you out there who always make up time to be here with us on Spoon Talk. Of course, we'll be back tomorrow. And thanks to our folks in Radio Lane as well. Tomorrow will be one-on-one with the CEO. It's going to be a very interesting show. The flyers will be up shortly, and you can get ready to join us on Monday. The Spoon Talk returns with a fresh edition, and you don't want to miss that. Until then, have a good night. My name is Nelson Colette. Thanks to the entire team, and bye bye for now.